Hey, here we
Hey!
are. Um,
80.
Welcome to Fate's Group Presents Echoes of Divinity. I'm going to start off by acknowledging my stress rash. That is a stress rash of love. Because thank you to every single person in the chat that's donating stuff and gifting subs and stuff like that. And um, thank you. I haven't DM'd this campaign in a little bit, so yeah, this is embarrassing. I can hear Ben
Hey.
struggling with the volume in the other room because he's accidentally turned on the stream with sound. Um,
Oh no.
but this stream wouldn't be what it was without the viewers, and also without the people specifically here in the stream this evening. I don't think I say it enough, and I probably need to, but the entire basis of Fate Script is purely enjoyment and like getting to do fun shit with friends and having fun people in the chat is genuinely the most important thing to me personally. So thank you. Speaking of amazing people, I want to take a moment to go around the table and introduce everyone and find out what you're doing, what you're working on. So kicking us off, we'll go in overlay order. Promethean.
Wow, incredible. Hi, I'm Promethean. There's a zero in it? Question mark. I do lots of stuff. Do you want to see some of the things I'm doing? And have been doing? Ta-da! The Law Rights. I run my own little campaign on there. Emily's in it. It's super fun. You should come and visit us on Twitch. Hey, look, ta-da! I'm also in Castleton, along with a bunch of other people. That's happening real soon, and it involves like 150,000 people. It's going to be insane. Tomorrow night, ta-da! Check out Peoples and Dragons. You'll see us doing Radiant Shadows in like book 2. It's a whole new kind of thing. We're an official D&D party now. It's going to be fun. And Sunday and also Saturday, if you happen to be in Melbourne and want to catch some cool charity games, ta-da! That looks like it's backwards to me, but I hope it's not. Split the party at Fortress Melbourne, Saturday, Sunday this weekend, raising money for Game on Cancer. Absolutely check that out. I will be in the final game on Sunday. The end.
That was truly so much, and I'm
I know.
so excited for you. I'm a little overwhelmed by it on your behalf, though.
I'm already tired.
Yeah, yeah, fair enough. Speaking of overwhelmed, I'm gonna hand over to the next person in the overlay, D20.
I should take myself off mute then. Thank you,
Yeah.
Emily. Thank you, everyone that is paying attention to this the wonderful charade. And I feel like a baby bird that needs to be fed.
Mm.
Anyway,
Open up.
Yeah.
D20, I'd like you to just take a moment as well to appreciate the little quote that comes up when we exclamation point your name.
I'm unable
But
to use the internet, Emily. So perhaps someone could help me with that.
Yeah, it's been
maybe.
too long, I think.
Yeah,
Since
there we
we've
go.
seen this.
Again, by the grace of some remarkably lovely people, occasionally I get allowed onto the internet, but most of the time I'm not on it. So I'm going to hand over to the incredible Tammy. Tammy, take it away.
I am going like completely brain dead, which is, really good for what's coming. But I just pop up on random places, basically. And I also would like to mention the charity game is not just if you're in Melbourne, it is streaming on the Split the Party channel. So even if you can't be in Melbourne physically, you can actually watch it on the streams and still contribute to affect the in-person gaming from a distance.
Correct. That's a very good point to make. One that I should have perhaps thought of.
Yeah, good one.
Did not. Matt, I'm so sorry, Matt.
But this is why
Nobly, Promethean. Feel one now. Just a pointer. You can press a button. Things happen.
This is why Tammy's a superior human.
I keep track of everyone's schedules.
While you're preparing that, Pro, I'm going to hand over to Ben.
Hey, I'm Ben, also known
That
as
one?
Blast Powder if you see my handle on the chat. I am with Fate's Grip, along with Emily, who is our DM. You can catch us at 6:45 every Tuesday night, and the odd stream here and there. I am also the guy who brought the awkward sounds coming in before, so I apologize for that. I hope that didn't turn anybody off.
I actually don't know if you heard it on the stream. I think it might have noise gated, so that's good.
Yeah.
Great.
How
And
awkward were the sounds?
Yeah.
and last and definitely least is myself. My name's Emily. Tonight I'm going to be the Dungeon Master. On Tuesdays I am Kalani Lisa Terry, and every other day I'm either playing some sort of video game, BG3 Bardcore, Hot Bards in your area. I'm over on the Law Rights playing Malia Redwood, or I'm hanging out and thirst mastering on Thirsty Thursdays, which we need to probably revisit part 2 of the mass debate.
Agreed.
Hey, last thing I want to do
We
really
got
quickly.
to we got to
Oh, sorry.
finish.
Yeah, we do.
Sorry.
You can't start a mass debate without finishing. Hey, before we recap though, I do want to take one more moment to really quickly shout out everyone that did do something at the start of the chat. Tammy, thank you for your subscription. Saz, thank you for your subscription. Tammy, thank you for gifting 5 subs. Salt, thank you for your sub. Ham, thank you for the 10 subs. And I know we had some bits in there from Saz the Meeple, Promethean. I know Salt jumped in there and did some bits as well. It is very much appreciated. I love you all very much. Yeah. Hey, should we play some D&D?
What? Yeah. Okay.
The other thing I'll let the chat know, if at any point in time you want to learn about any of the characters here, you can now do exclamation point followed by their name as spelled on the overlay, and you'll be able to take a peek at their character sheet, except for Ben, who didn't send me his. So it says when he sends me the link in brackets. But hey, it's all
I failed.
I don't have a character sheet, D20.
Weird.
Weird about that. But hey,
Hey, there you go. Nightbot's got me.
Yeah, you still don't have a character sheet in there.
All right. You don't need it.
Yeah, fair enough. From this point onwards, it's not gobby. Anyway, let's recap, shall we?
Yeah. Yes.
It's been some time. And where we left off, for some time now, you have been traveling towards Maluhia. You've made your way through Kaivala, and you spent some time at the Lazy Trout. After a confrontation between Valenda and Tybella in the night, revealing some connections to Valenda's past, the party all took a well-deserved long rest. The following morning, you all gathered in for breakfast at the Lazy Trout, where some interesting conversations followed, including some interrogations, particularly towards Jonan about where his sister was the night before. Astrid and Jonan, along with their companion Tybella, offered to accompany you into Maluhia, but not all of them were sure you wanted them there. It was then revealed by Valenda to the party that Tybella had come to visit him in the night. Scarlet didn't take too kindly to that, threatening Tybella, who very quickly charmed Scarlet into temporary submission. Tybella decided against traveling with the party, took her coin, and took her leave. After some time passed, you decided to check on Grommy, who, you picked up earlier on your travels. He is super proud of his invisibility cloak, which is definitely an invisibility cloak, who has since finally awoken from his slumber as well. A little tired, but seems to be okay thus far. As you all packed your belongings for your final day of travel, hopefully, you crossed to the border into Maluhia, feeling hopeful, question mark, for your quest for the Thornberry.
I'll have you know, Valenda feels only misery, sorrow, pain, and ruin on any given day.
Yeah,
There are strong feelings. That'll keep you
that
motivated.
that checks out. There is no Grommy character sheet, okay? I'm sorry. It's just not there. And even if it was, you wouldn't get it. He's got a +1 stick. Leave him alone. He has a +1 stick and an invisibility cloak. That's his entire belongings.
He's probably better equipped than us,
Yeah.
to be honest.
With his +1 stick that rolls a d8 damage. Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
If only we had an artifice from the party to help get us better. But here's
Hey.
hoping to the next PC that joins.
I'm here for the people.
Which
To serve the
people?
people.
All the people by the people. Hey, speaking of the
Yeah.
people, as you're all riding on this cart, would you like to remind everyone who is watching where you're all sitting and what you're maybe doing as you're finally passing through this border?
We were in the cart, weren't we?
You
Yeah,
were.
absolutely. Marcus, I believe, is the default driver of the cart currently.
I believe from memory and my poor note taking, I was also up front.
I feel like
You,
you were
you had
riding the
taken interest.
horse.
Yeah, you were taking interest in a horse for some strange reason.
Right.
Valinda was convalescing in his silken pajamas in the back, and I think our actual useful party member was currently Scarlet was guiding us with wisdom and direction and get on with it, you idiots. So we were looking for her leadership to drive us through this difficult time of Valinda sleeping with everybody.
I thought you were going to say our only useful party member, Grommy, but
Who?
Yeah. Speaking of, as you pass through the now looking up at it, really intimidating stone walls that border Kaivala and Maluhia, you can see looking up, it spans a long way. Like, you are very aware that anyone who tried to penetrate this building, this structure, sorry, without entering through without entering through the legal way, would not be able to do so, not without flight or magical assistance. As your cart passes through, you notice on the stone wall an intricately carved anchor with overgrown vines and flowers draping this symbol. As you kind of look as close as you can in passing at it, you see that the flowers themselves almost have like an iridescent gold tint to them that shine in the light. Underneath, you can also all see a quote. What languages does everyone speak?
Ooh.
Common, Elvish, Undercommon, and Gith, and also Thieves can't.
Ooh.
But you know that they can.
Good. Anyone else speak anything that is not that?
Yeah, I've got common elvish giant.
Cool.
Marcus, being somewhat overly pretentious, accidentally cast comprehend languages and then tell the party what it is, because if you're going to be a bard, why not be a tosser as well?
Well, it's
Yeah.
weird because it's actually written in common, and
I can still read it though.
written, written in common is a quote that says, "In order to take, you must give." But funnily enough, as you are looking at it, those of you that can speak different languages, you focus on it for a moment, and while it's written in common, it's almost like you're watching the script change between the languages you all know. Um, Almost like subtitles, I guess. You can kind of see it changing to adapt to whatever language you focus on in your mind, and you get the sense that it doesn't matter what languages you can read, it will read to you in a way that you need it to. As the cart continues on,
Can I the logo, does that hold any significance of the anchor?
Yeah, anyone that wants to can roll a history check for me.
I want to. The end.
I mean, you still can if you wish.
Ooh.
A Hamish 20.
A Hamish 20, that's a new one.
20.
What was the skill you're after?
History,
was it?
please.
History. So I rolled an 8 with a 5. 13.
13. Remind me, 13. What else did we get? Who rolled?
10.
Scarlett's not book smart. She
And
knows she's not going to.
Hamish 20. Okay. So, you, Valinda, you have seen this symbol before, and you've seen it relating to the deities of Damata. And you know that they all have their own symbols. You just can't really piece together which one this might be, despite the fact you're entering Maluhia. Both of you, Ben and Chris, you both understand that this is the symbol of Thalassa, who is the deity that rules over Maluhia. You understand that she is very passionate about trade, and weirdly, despite the fact you're passing through this wall, you know that Maluhia is not really one for borders. The border that you're passing through is Kaivala, and their stricter, more, I guess you could say, pompous regulations. So you're getting the sense that you are feeling welcomed here. Chris, or sorry, I should say Marcus, specifically, you are aware that Thalassa is the youngest of the deities, and is a little bit more chaotic than the others. You do know that she is most passionate about trade, nature, and a little bit of trickery as well. People that live in Maluhia are very free-spirited, tend to be open-minded, and like I said earlier, like not one for borders or protective territories or anything like that.
Can I confirm? You said the anchor is a symbol of just Maluhia, was it, or?
It is for Maluhia, but specifically for the deity that rules over Maluhia, which is Thalassa.
I didn't catch that part, I think.
Marcus relates that to the rest of the party in a slightly pompous, overly compensating way, and ends in a flourish. Malahia.
Oh, you're
The
welcome.
walls are not really walls. They're really a symbol of welcoming terror. That's why they're so tall and so thick. They're really quite marvelous. And if you need to nip round for a pee, there's all these great places to do that. Onward. So, what are you doing with the horse?
The only other thing that you would know, Marcus, is that Maluhia speaks a lot about, Thalassa specifically has been the deity that people speak of. You know for a fact that in the history of Damata, these deities did once walk this plane of existence, and were living amongst the people. You are aware that Thalassa specifically is the only one that people still rumor to have caught sight of walking this plane. A lot of it feels skeptical, and a lot of it feels like more boasting or, as a bard, storytelling. But there's almost that slight undertone of, but what if?
Marcus relays part of that, but at the end of it is like, and to be clear, I've actually seen the goddess. She
Inside
visited
joke.
me in visions.
Can I get anyone that
Couldn't-
wishes to make an insight check? Marcus, you can make a deception check for me, please.
Sure.
I gave myself guidance. Sod you all.
Yeah, 19 on the insight.
Oh,
Yeah,
something good.
well done. Well done.
7.
I got a 17 and a 5, so 22.
No,
Why are you rolling at
no.
advantage?
Hey, me?
No,
Yeah.
he adds 5 to it.
Oh, right.
No,
So,
I didn't roll with advantage. Yeah.
okay, good. What did you roll, Marcus?
A smug bard managed to get a 24.
Oh,
Oh,
You all are listening to this, and you've been traveling with Marcus for some time now. You are aware that he, every now and again does say something, and you're a little bit like, yeah, all right. Valenda, there's still a part of you that, like, even though you trust the words coming out of his mouth, you kind of go, maybe, yeah, all right. He seems like he's telling the truth. Soul and Scarlet, you're like, holy shit, this guy, he's seen Thalassa.
Actually, though, I couldn't imagine anything worse. Imagine being a deity and being judged by that kind of power. No, thank you.
Dreams,
And what-
silly boy, dreams. Dreams and visions of a goddess.
do I know what Thalassa? I know that you told D20, but do I know what Thalassa is the god of?
With that history check, you feel like you might have read it somewhere, but you just can't recall at this point in time. You've read a lot at this, like you've done your searching, and at the moment, this is not something you can pull from the old noggin.
I'll look at him.
Anyway, I don't speak of it, soul. Only to dear friends like yourself. I don't tell any other soul. And even Remy here, wouldn't normally say that to him, but he was in earshot.
You've truly spoken to her.
Communed is the way I look to it, soul. Communed.
If I could play a game, I would love to understand some of that conversation. It might help me with my practices.
Okay. Probably not to be spoken of on the open road, perhaps in a darker room somewhere after several drinks. But moving on. Yeah.
You make your way through, and the as the cart kind of continues, it very quickly becomes this little cobblestone path, and it's almost a blend of grass and sand underneath this path. It takes you a moment, but you realize as well the temperament in the air has changed significantly. It feels a lot warmer of a climate here. And as you look up, the sun is super bright. You have not seen the sun like this in some time. It feels good on your skin unless you don't like the heat, and then I guess this feels absolutely terrible and you're hating every minute of it.
How hot are we talking about?
Like we're talking like 26 degrees Celsius.
There. Because I've got a scarf and a leather jacket. I'm going to start loosening that up and take my leather duster's coat off as well. As we get deeper and deeper into the, I assume, jungle. What is the environment?
It's not a jungle, it is actually quite open, but the trees around here kind of go from your foresty style trees to you start to actually like go past these trees that have fruits and nuts, and they start to look a little bit more tropical as well. This entire environment is unlike anything you've seen anywhere else in Damata. It feels kind of like a holiday destination as far as all things considered. As you are making your way through on your, let me just make sure I say the right direction, because
If
that
it's
could
possible.
be incorrect.
The horse I'm riding's attached to the cart, isn't it?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay, I can't do that then. If I can I roll a perception check? I'm just like seeing if I can see any herbs or anything that I would have noticed from my books to be able to make in red grunts and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can keep an eye out with just a, if you're just like looking as you're passing, you can do a perception check for me.
Yeah.
As you're passing through and looking out towards the southeast, you can see in the not too far distance, you can actually see the water that borders between Agora, where you started your journey, to Maluhia. And you can see a couple of what look like transport ships making their way through the channel. If you stay quiet enough, you hear like the faint horn of one in the air as well. But it is quite vibrant as you're passing through. What was your perception check?
7 and a 2 for 9.
9. You see some fruit. Looks cool. It's red.
Do I know what the cool fruit is, or
Nope. Not with that
I'll probably
perception
leave
check.
it then. Yeah, I'll not dismount and continue.
Yeah, cool. As you're passing through, it becomes busier as well. You start to see people, traders wandering about. You see a couple of travelers here and there. You see what look to be a couple of people pulling some carts coming from the direction of the channel. In the distance as well, you can see some mountainous terrain, but once again, it's not like the mountainous terrain that you've passed through in Kaivala. It is more like no snow caps, no nothing. It looks covered in trees. Even in the air, you can smell like this light sweetness. Like it's a strange place. You, Scarlett, have been to Maluhia before. You remember that you met an Antara here when you all set out on your troop. So to you, this is all very familiar. And there is that sense of nostalgia and good times that kind of hits the pit of your stomach from when you last passed through this border. Is there anything anyone would like to do?
Valinda would be keeping an eye out for any kind of signage or indication of thieves' camp being used for soliciting or selling the kind of drugs that we're here for. But he'll struggle with that because of his sunlight sensitivity in this God's forsaken, very bright
I forgot
place.
about that. That sucks for you.
Yeah, somewhat.
Yeah, you can make me a perception roll as well.
Sure. Well, that doesn't bode well already. 12.
A
At
12.
disadvantage.
You can't pick up on anything in Thieves' Can't, or anything like that, but you do see a signpost. You're all very aware that Damata's a little bit strange in the grand scheme of things in terms of suburbs and city names and that sort of thing. There is a capital city, and then everywhere else is just part of the region. It's not all individually named. It's not like other universes you might have read about in books. So the only signage you can really see is signage towards Aladria itself, which is, as you all know, the capital city of Maluhia. It looks like you can see it is pointing to the west, direct west of you.
Okay.
You also are aware that that is the most heavily populated area in Maluhia. So if you were looking to talk to anyone, that would probably be the direction you would go.
Scarlet, would I be right in thinking Aladria makes sense as the most suitable location where one might acquire the kinds of drugs that we are trying to find for our benefactor?
Okay, so we're talking to me now.
Only
know,
as long as that attitude doesn't persist. Let's not go over this again. We're here for a job.
Whatever, yes. Yes, that would be where you would go for things like that.
Valenda will like bang on the roof or framework of the cart and yell out to Marcus, "Take us onto the city."
Right, you are.
Cool.
Which
You just-
city? Do you even know where we are?
We're in a place I'm not enjoying very much at all.
Why don't you come out here? Why don't you come out here and the fresh air? I mean, literally, my ship, I've had to take it all the way down to the navel.
I am absolutely not coming out there. If I was to do so, I'd need some kind of comically large hat or something, and I have no interest in that at all.
Melinda, you feel a tug at.
Valinda, it's
Are you
glorious
still
out here.
wearing? You still wearing your robe? You still wearing your silk robe, or did you put clothing on?
Of Valenda. Oh no,
Yeah.
he'll be decked out in full like assassin leathers
Oh yeah,
uh,
cool. Okay,
for the trip, and he's not removing them at all.
great. So you feel a tug at your leather jacket, uh, and when you look down, you see a blue kobold hand, uh, looking looking at you and tugging on your jacket, and they just look at you, and Grommy says, if you want, you can use my blanket. And he holds out the invisibility cloak to you.
First time that Valenda's had an opportunity to investigate this alleged invisibility cloak.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, then Valenda will absolutely take it for that purpose.
And Grommy will say, you can put it on your head if you want.
Thank you, Rodent. I mean, Grommy.
Can you make an Arcana check for me, please?
Sure. It's a 19.
Yeah, great. It's weird because you're not super magical, but being around these people makes you feel like one day you could cast magic if you really put your mind to it. Like if you buckled down and studied at the university that no longer exists.
If I only applied myself.
Yeah, if you only applied yourself and weren't a disappointment to your parents, you could probably get away with it.
Ouch.
But hey, where's the lie? But you feel like you know enough that, particularly having seen magic be cast around you as of late, there is almost like a veil sometimes that comes with magical items. Like something looks a little off or shimmery about them. You can sometimes see this magic. This cloak, it looks like a blanket that was found in the dirt. It doesn't seem to give off any notable arcane energy whatsoever. You also know that Grommy has been carrying this around, notably also being unconscious for most of your travels, but he's never once been invisible.
Fair. Valenda will keep the blanket because it's a useful addition to his pile of stuff to disguise himself with if he needs to be sneaking around.
Yeah, great, cool. So you can add one torn, dirty blanket to your inventory.
I will.
Grommy looks so chuffed. Anyone that can see Grommy can see how happy he looks that Valenda has taken this blanket. There is like a sense of pride, like he's puffing out his chest a little bit. He feels good about it, and you can all sense that coming off of him.
Has he left the cart? Like, we
No,
can see him outside?
No, he's just sitting inside the cart at the moment.
Right, okay. All right, Marcus, should we deliver our companions towards the city, or?
And probably there's a moment. Dim, the apparel that everybody's got, do we stick out like sore thumbs? Well, some of the parties stick out like sore thumbs.
As you're kind of not walking, you're riding on this cart. The diversity in the people that you are passing, you see people in, average adventurers clothing, some more worn than others. You see a couple of people in grander clothing. You see one woman that looks like she's wearing like this beautiful ornate dress. You get the sense that there is not a standard dress type within Maluhia as a whole. So while you kind of have that thought, it's very fleeting.
Knowing Malahir relatively well as Marcus does, I'd like to take us to somewhere that is a reasonable part of accommodation and close to the kind of wine centre itself, because this thing was being shipped through. So, and lean to the back to Scarlet, kind of push it across and say, is any advice that you have in this town? Do you have any experience in Malahir?
I've been here before, but I mean, most of where I've been has been sort of the more underground's not the right word, because it's not actually underground. Like, this was where I used to started out in cage matches and stuff like that. So where I used to stay was not necessarily the most reputable places.
And that, my dear, was where I was going with. Are you a recognised figure in this locale to certain people? Would you be? Well, you're very easy to pick out in a crowd, but I'm wondering if you're, known.
I don't know. I mean, I used to fight here. And then I joined the circus, and I've been here with the circus as well. So I've done both competition fighting and display fighting here. So I've performed in front of different kinds of audiences, but I don't know if I'm well known or not.
At this point, Astrid, from on top of the cart, those of you inside of the cart would just see her, similar to how a kid like hangs off like furniture. Her head just like pops down and looks into the cart, and she says, "Scarlet is being very modest. She is quite well known within at least the fighting scene and the underground entertainment scene. Those taverns that put on these evenings, they will all know who she is."
Thank you. I was looking to see if we could perhaps use Scarlet's fame to push along some of the conversations, if you don't mind, Scarlet, because it just helps us mask some of our questions with someone of your stature coming in.
Oh yeah, sure, that's fine.
Marvelous.
But
we just need
I
to stop off and buy a few things.
Scarlet. I won't be known here as Scarlet.
Oh. Which nom de guerre are you using?
Just use the name Cherry. Like, my actual full fight thing was Cherry Bang, but just use Cherry.
Done. Was there a particular colour that Cherry wants, as in the colour cherry, or was there anything particular?
So one thing Marcus would have noticed about Scarlet is she always has bright red scarlet lips, as if she's using that very bright classic red lipstick, but there is no makeup. That's just how her face is.
So if
it's a trademark feature.
No, brilliant. Saul, if you see any beautiful red tarpaulins or sheets or blankets, shout out, dear chap.
Of course,
I'm looking to deck up the wagon to just make it a little bit more visual.
Circusy?
more of an entertainer's type approach, Saul. More of an entertainer's thing. So
I'll after you said that, I'll look up. Do I see any of that?
What specifically are you looking for?
So really, it's really straightforward. So what I'm looking to do is turn our rather dull and uninteresting card into more a showpiece DM. So I'm going to get
Okay.
Soul's keen eye to look for red tarpaulins, and I'm also looking to make it a bit darker for Valenda because as much of an arse Marcus is, he's not that much of an arse, and he wants to make it that little bit darker for Valenda. So I want to get a
Okay.
thick kind of top that's think of it kind of that kind of deep red linen you get, so it's breathable, but it's got shade.
Yeah, cool. Can I get anyone that's looking to make a perception check for me, please?
Yeah, I'll stand up on my horse and see
I will
what
aid.
I'm sorry, are
I
you
would aid
standing
Sol.
up on the horse?
Yeah,
Like
so
in the stirrups, or are you climbing
on-
onto the back of
in
the
in the syrups. So
Okay,
like
great.
trying to get better advantage.
I was going to say, Sol's becoming another performer.
Speaking of that, performers, you can go down.
Oh.
I got 18 with an 8, so 26.
Yikes.
Give me one sec.
Show me those cherry
Fucking
tapoles.
hell.
What do you call them? That's the wrong word.
So you see, as you're kind of looking out for any structure or trader, and you are passing by quite a few people. The roads here are busy, in comparison, particularly to Kaivala, which was Ghost Town Central. And the one person that sticks out to you is a farmer, or someone that looks like a farmer. They're wearing like tattered overalls. He's got like graying, long, wavy hair that hangs past just his ears. And he has a small cart that looks like it has various fabrics and paints and parchment that he's pushing along. Also, kind of circling him, you see 3 young children, and they are like throwing rocks at him and like just general tomfoolery. They're all kind of laughing with each other, and you see one of them is looking like they're about to sneak up on him and swipe something from his pocket.
Excellent.
Just general tomfoolery, assault and robbery.
Yeah, assault and robbery. That's what I was thinking.
We're in a fantasy world, okay?
These kids.
How
be
far
rock
away is
throwing.
he?
How far away is he?
Yeah.
He would be about 20 feet.
I really don't. I don't know if this would work on this way, but maybe come back to me.
Okay, well, as you're like preparing something, one of the kids runs up, steals an ink pot, and smashes it onto the ground. And starts laughing and pointing at this this human man who just stands there, and he's like,
How far? Yeah, 20 feet. So if I see that, I'm sure it wouldn't be a big. Oh wait, the horse is attached to a cart, isn't it?
yes.
I'll and I see this.
Yeah, you all do.
All right, I'll jump off my horse and
While it's
go
moving?
well, it's not moving very fast, is it?
No.
Through a town, probably not. I
Yeah,
guess would
cool,
be taking
great.
it
It'd
easy.
be like a trot, wouldn't it?
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Uh,
I was going to say, you can tuck and roll.
Yeah, at full gallop.
yeah. I'll jump off my horse and.
You all see this, by the way. Sol doesn't say anything. He just jumps off the horse after you've watched this ink pot get smashed into the ground.
How far are
Red
the
ink
children away?
The children they are moving, but they're within like 5 or so feet of him. So
How far are they away from us, DM?
So anywhere between like 25, sometimes they get as close as 10, depending on how they're moving.
Um,
So,
the
sorry,
no, go so.
if I can, after the question that I was asked, I'll point at the elderly gentleman that looks like he may have the things we're looking for. And I'll jump off my horse and move up. And these children, can I roll an insight? They just look like brats.
Yeah, roll an insight check. While you're doing that, what were you going to say, Marcus?
As Saul's going off heroically, is striding towards it. Marcus just casts
Cart's still
a
moving,
quick.
by the way.
Yeah, no, it cast that, and kind of has this kind of just something between his fingers and thumb, which is a little bit of fleece that is there, and then with his little finger gestures at the impish-looking child and points to him, and the child has a minor illusion where he turns the same color as the ink.
Oh, okay. Great. Cool. I'm going to roll a dice. Um, what was your insight in the meantime, please, Ben?
17.
17? Yeah, they look like absolute little shitty kids. They don't look like they're like gonna murder this guy and steal all of his belongings, but they do look like little shitheads.
I'll walk up to the kids and I will bugger off, you little peasants.
Okay, so like as you do, two of them start laughing and like running back towards this elderly gentleman or behind his cart. The other
I'm
one,
serious. I have a kobold in the back here who hasn't eaten for several days. I'll feed you to them if you don't bugger off.
one of them who like just stops and doesn't immediately react to you, looks down at their skin that has gone bright red, and
I'll
he
point down and
starts
look at him and be like, he loves the
screaming.
red ones.
He starts screaming. He gets really, really scared, and he runs off and hides behind the cart too. And
Our cart or his cart? The elderly
the
gentleman's.
elderly gentleman's cart. And you see this elderly gentleman, he like lets out like a slow laugh and he goes,
I'll
serve
turn to him
them
like, wait,
right.
is he with you? Are they with you?
Huh?
These children.
You're still like 20 feet from this guy, or like more like 15 now. He's like, young sir, you're going to have to come closer.
I'll keep walking forward as I have this conversation.
I didn't hear a thing you said. It's the gout.
Are these children with you? Gout doesn't hurt your ears. What do you?
Oh,
It's gout of the ears.
that is what my late wife told me.
Hmm. As I approach, are the children dispersing or they?
Nah, they're like now they look like they're pocketing some shit from the cart.
Oh my god.
Young gentlemen, thank you for coming to my aid. I
Just
am Steve, and I am forever in your debt. I
Flaming
see
spear on the
you
kids.
have what? No, you
No,
won't.
I'm joking.
I would like to introduce you to my three children. This
Okay.
is Soren, Sigmund, and Farron. I wanted to name him Darren, but my wife liked an F.
So these are your children.
Well, only 50%. I can't give them all of their DNA.
I'll be like, why did I choose this guy?
we're
Give what
riding
we
on, by the
needed.
way.
Yeah. After that, I'm like, oh well.
Can I interest you in some parchment? Or
Has he
some
got any of the
coin?
stuff that Marcus asked me about?
Looking at the cart, and spicing it up a little bit, maybe throwing some theatre blacks in there. Yeah, absolutely. You see a bunch of different types of paint. Like you feel like if you wanted to paint the outside of the cart, you absolutely could with these paints. They do come in smaller pots, so you're not going to cover the entire surface. But if you wanted to paint something on it, you could. You do see a couple of different types of fabric. Nothing that's like a dark black or grey color, but you do see a material that is quite thick. And you feel like if it was draped a certain way, that it would provide at least 50% more shade than what you're currently getting.
How much for the top and the paint?
The top I will give you for free. The paints, however, I brew them myself with all of the skin and bones that I have left in my body.
There's no lead in it, is there?
That is highly illegal.
Uh,
I will give it to you for a gold piece. What color paint would you like?
we're looking for red, and the top's already white, isn't it?
It's like more of a dark cream color.
That'll do. If you have any red paint, I'll take that.
He looks at his
At the
child
top, I
that's
will.
covered in red ink. And he's like, the closest thing I have to red was that color. I can give you a hot pink, though.
Look, this is awkward. I'll just take it. Whatever you have there is fine.
Okay.
Take it all.
Great. He starts to gather together a couple of different paints for you. It's kind of like going to Bunnings and getting sample size pots. You know.
As he's doing that, I don't have the patience, so I will shuffle around and be like, "Is this the paint you're asking that you're selling to me?"
Please don't
And I'll
touch
just
the
start.
wares. I am gathering them for you. And he puts together a bright pink color, a really dark emerald green, a cobalt blue, and what looks to be like a yellow that was once yellow, but is now kind of like a weird brown color.
As he's doing this, I'm going to pay special attention to the children.
Well, one of them one of them is still red, unless they're not Marcus. Great, cool.
How long does it last?
Yeah, how long does it last?
So this was all in aid of making Valinda more comfortable, yeah?
Yeah, I still
Okay.
need to wash your shirts, I'm pretty sure.
Excellent. I feel like you do that every morning, and you do such a good job. I think
Lavender.
Valinda then will have slipped out of the back of the cart. Has no interest in helping this old man with the children initially, but he does have an interest in making sure that the aesthetic is going to suit him, and will trundle his way up to these two very poorly trying to negotiate a transaction of ink.
I'm going to look at Valenda and be like, if there's a way to portray something, I would be like, I wish I could be you right now and not care about these people.
Insight check. Sorry, this thing needs to go. That is rolling terribly for me. Okay.
Good. You look at
This is a
Valenda, and for a
painful
moment,
interaction.
like I mean, you look at Soul, Valenda, and for
I'll
a
just
moment,
sigh at him.
you know, it's been a really long time since you've seen your family. And in this moment, you think that Soul could be your dad.
Wow.
That's a weird insight.
Valenda immediately gives Sol the cold shoulder and just pretends that he's not even there.
Then you realize he's not your
mention.
dad because he's a fucking human and you are not.
Yeah, correct. Turning to old Trader Joe, Valenda might ask then.
It's Steve, actually.
Valenda, Steve Valenda. These are his little prodigies running around.
Please tell me that you have some black in here somewhere.
Dear boy, black is the hardest color to brew. Unless you waste all of your paints mixing them together to make a dark brown murky color that kind of looks like chocolate, but darker and less enjoyable.
That seems very much like it would be brown. I'm almost certain I asked about black.
I'm sorry you can't deduce what I am trying to tell you, and that is no.
Excellent. Look, how
Can
much
I
for
interest
everything?
you in a cobalt blue?
Sure. I'll take the entire stock.
If you would like everything, you can have it for 2 gold pieces.
Perfect. Thank you. And
And you
Belinda
see
will...
he just like abandons the cart and just goes and starts to walk away. And then
Magnificent.
he goes, Soren, Sigmund, Farron, home time. We're having lasagna.
2 gold for a lasagna?
Wait, I need the gold. And he turns around and puts out his hand.
I'll instinctively pull out 1 gold piece because I said I would pay him 1.
Valinda,
Wow.
as this gold piece is offered, then just hesitates slightly, just in case Sol wants to front up for both.
I'll look at Valinda and then I'll take the other gold piece out.
Perfect. Valinda will take all of the stuff from the cart and head back to theirs.
Should we not just take the cart and tow it to the other
It's
cart?
more like a trestle table with wheels. Like, that's what it is.
Oh, right. All right, let's take it back.
But you could take it. You look at it and you feel like it would fold. It's like a bar cart.
It's like a magic trestle table, and when you unpack it, it comes out with everything on top.
Taking that with us feels very much like manual labor. Not something I'm interested in at all.
All right. I can take it, Belinda. You're fine.
You
Go back
watch
to your
as
little shadowy hole inside the cart.
you actually watch as the red child, human child, looks at you all, and you watch as this energy comes out of their hands as they guiding bolt the trestle table cart, and it just shatters.
What?
And
I
you
like
watch
your
as
spirit, young man.
Steve chuckles and is like,
Counterspell.
Baron, that's not very nice. And they continue on their way. They look happy. A very cohesive family.
As the two return, Marcus is finished talking about all the grifters that are in this place and how they rip off like just curious tourists that come in by just taking large amounts of gold off them. I mean, you're back. Hopefully that was like 2 silver pieces at best.
You're saying that's us?
Yes.
Well, maybe times that by a lot.
Okay, so there's going to be a moment where your generosity and goes that way, and our goal goes this way. So, just when it comes to negotiations, I think probably either Valenda, Grommy, Scarlet, or the horse probably should go first. And if you're our backup of the backups, because your generosity is just too much for humanity.
Marcus,
Or-
I really don't think you should be the one lecturing on inappropriate negotiation tactics.
I believe I can. And again, allow me to explain my proximity to people that understand commerce, Valenda. Blah, 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 blah. And this goes on for about 2 minutes as he goes off and a bit, not really paying attention to it and just waving a lot in the air. Scarlett, was there a particular location that you used to enjoy going to that we could frequent?
Do you mean to stay or?
Yes, that's me being pompous again. Yes, can we? Somewhere you'd like to stay?
Okay, Emily, where did she used to stay?
Great question. You are aware of, in the time that you did travel, that everything, the center of everything was Aladria. You are aware that not just within the town itself, there is fishing town on the borders as well. Um, and a lot of the trade comes out of the ports there. For you specifically, there was a tavern that you used to meet up with in Aladria that was just on kind of the outskirts. And in Mull here is not by any means, there are not like slum towns or anything that feels um, dirty, or it is a prim proper but relaxed in nature area. Um, but the closest thing that you can get to underground fighting scene from the outside looking in would be just on the border of Aladria. And you know that that tavern changes its name once every year to keep it funky fresh, because why not? The last you recall, it was called the Raven's Nook.
So I think it's still called the Raven's Nook. It goes through an identity change, much like, people change their hair and how they look and stuff like that. But I know where it is, if that's where you want to go to. But like I said, I came here for very different reasons than, having a holiday, shall we say.
Anyone have objections going to one of Cherry's former haunts?
None whatsoever.
After that interaction, no.
You hear Jonan also from the rooftop say, I don't know what it's called anymore, but it's worthwhile a visit.
Well, that's 3 votes for yes and a number of confusions for let's go there. So, yeah! And I move from slightly stumbling pace to brisk walking pace with our overladen cart.
Yeah, cool. As you, that sounds like tax evasion. Wow.
Oh, Marcus, is it like I've gathered these bits of equipment begrudgingly after that, but is there something you wish to do with it?
Well, I'll tell you what, Sol. You take the reins and actually don't take the reins. We'll wait till we get to Cherry's new locale, and then I'll make it a bit more fabulous.
All right. I like
Um,
fabulous.
as you, this is all happening while you're making your way towards Aladria. Astrid climbs down from the top of the cart and sits in within the back of it, just kind of looking out at everything that's passing. And she looks between you all, and she says, "So you're all in search of this Thornberry. What exactly is it that interests you all?" Don't all speak at once.
Do we know? I don't know if we've touched on this. Do they know that we're looking for this on behalf of the
Nope.
Queen? Yeah. Okay.
You have been
Damn
told
question.
explicitly not to link it back to the crown.
Before I say anything,
Yeah, Sol, you've done so well already.
I'm gonna look at Marcus because he's so good at answering things.
Because Scarlett was willing to tell them, but other people didn't want them to know. So
Valenda will pipe up. I'm always on the lookout for new business opportunities. I'm quite keen to see if this might be a new reason to invest. Or, alternatively, a reason to take out some competition.
Are you planning on starting a winery of your own?
I like to keep my options open.
You don't
Can't be
strike me as the
destitute wandering through the lands from
you
day
don't
to
strike
day.
me as the grape, gathering type.
Well, I'm hardly going to do the gathering with my own hands.
Fair enough. um,
Do we know what Thornberry actually does to somebody?
Oh yes, so out of character. It's like someone having PCP.
Right.
So you get the hallucinations and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes it will go a little bit too far.
Yeah, I won't answer.
It enhances your abilities too from memory, doesn't it?
it has, and you all remember this because previously you did learn this. It is said to be almost prophetic in nature, like it can induce what is considered potentially a prophecy. That is the claims, at least, that have been made.
Have we, in its stories, heard of anybody that may have been like, "Oh, I've prophesized this and it's actually come true"?
Everything you've learnt has been from um, your contact. And so you haven't uncovered anything in books or anything like that. To you as well, like you all remember hearing that it is a recent thing. It has popped up seemingly kind of out of nowhere and very quickly, and that is what is concerning the crown at the moment. Is that in a society of non-magic, something that is magical crossing its borders is scary.
Hmm.
Astrid is like sitting there now looking at you all being really weird and silent.
Ashton, you know that I dabble in alchemy. For me, it's just something that I wish to learn a little bit more about. Everything like a snake venom, you can also extract something to become an antidote.
Oh,
I'm
so you
more
believe it's
here for
poisonous?
not necessarily. I'm interested in the applications of it. I don't know. Have you ever experienced it before?
No, but I'm very keen to.
Well, then perhaps we should try and find a way to gather some.
Hopefully, that's what we're doing.
So when we find it, I presume some of us may be curious. Um, are we actually obtaining some for our own purposes?
I must admit, a good way to understand a medicinal ingredient is to partake in it in certain degrees.
Cool. Do you want me to be your test subject?
I think I've already taken a bit of too much from you already. Again, I've got that blood of yours I need to check out when I have the ability to.
Mm.
Forgot about that.
I'm still probably going to try it anyway, so I don't mind.
No, I don't know. Perhaps if I can get myself to a proper alchemy lab, I could do a lot more with what I have on myself, and I'll kind of like gesture towards my bags and whatnot. Being somewhere for a longer period of time to test the stuff would be nice, but we have to find the ingredients first, so that's our
Ex-
priority.
what exactly does a proper alchemy lab entail?
Somewhere that I know I can use proper fire, time, mostly time, perhaps some magic here and there. Who am I can employ that from? But a day or two with this stuff might give me a better understanding.
Well,
Bunsen burners, test tubes.
Are you just making this stuff up now, Marcus? I mean, this is in my head is ringing like a bell that we need to get you to a place and at least try some of this. The twins, and I'm going to have to get used to calling you Cherry now. Cherry, again.
Don't call me Scarlet. I'm just talking about like the audience.
No, but
is
I'm
Cherry.
embodying your character. I'm embodying your character while we're in this.
He's a method actor.
I'm a method. I think we should definitely draw through and look and try and look at the twins, which is hard because one's on the roof, one's down there. It's like we're up to a bunch of shenanigans, and come along with us for the ride. Well, some of you have had a ride, but I meant metaphorically speaking rather than physically, because this is going to get a little bit complicated otherwise. Anyway, let's just park it here.
Always talk this much.
More. I'm actually being very quiet at this point in time because we've got visitors, which is mainly Grommy lying on the floor.
I don't even understand what you're saying.
Good.
Okay.
That's very good.
You're confusing me.
A lot of it was shit, Scarlet.
Okay.
Should we press on then?
This entire time you are traveling, by the way, you haven't stopped to have this conversation. It's just every time you start a conversation,
every time we chat.
Yeah. I must admit, is anybody else hungry? I'm tired of these rations. It'd be nice to have some.
Always hungry.
Nearly there.
I assume this Raven's Nook would have food, yes?
Yeah, and the carbs. Lots of carbs.
Pull up outside wherever they put this location, DM.
Sorry, what was that?
Make our way. It's in a slightly more brisk path through the citizens of this place and say, "Move along."
Yeah, cool. While you pick up the pace, can I get all of you to make perception checks for me, please?
Yes.
Ooh.
Perception.
Is this a sight-based perception check?
It is, yes.
Um,
You can, if you decide to put Grommy's blanket on you, you can roll a straight roll.
Valinda is never going to put that filthy, scummy piece of shit blanket anywhere near his head or hair.
So Scarlet, having seen your discomfort, is going to get out of her bag a wonderful pinstripe fedora and hand that over to you.
Excellent. Valinda seems to absolutely love this fedora and immediately dons it then.
Well, because it is black, obviously, so it goes with the rest of your stuff.
Yeah. Thank you, Scarlett. It would go much better than the original. If that's
I'm just going to roll
enough.
a d10 and at disadvantage and see how much less attractive you are with the hat.
It's a fedora. It's automatically like -5.
That's a 1. Right? That's a 1 at disadvantage.
Valinda won't be aware of this until he sees himself in a mirror.
Hot?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's hot when she wears it, but she has the rest of the ensemble to go with it, so,
Fedoras are great. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
+5 in my opinion.
Good God. Okay, can I get everyone's rolls, please?
Yeah, I didn't do too good. 8.
Cool.
12.
12? Yep.
17.
Great.
14.
Cool. As you're traveling through, Valinda and Marcus, something catches your eye, and it catches yours. Oh, fucking hell. Catches yours. Sure, let's wait.
Yeah.
Where's your dart? Put that in your hand too. Wow. It's the fedora for me.
Yep.
Detective Valenda on the case. It's been a
It
long,
stands
hard
out to
day.
both of you, Marcus and Belinda, but Belinda, it stands out to you a little bit more because this might be the closest thing you've seen to your aesthetic the entire time since passing the border. And it's not that you see an establishment or anything like that. What you see is two figures. They are adorned in all black leathers, and they are pulling a small cart behind them. Their faces you can't quite make out because they are looking, down at the ground more than anything. Um, and I think with that we might actually take a break. Might take a 10-minute break with that one, where we might go.
The fedora broker.
Yeah, the fedora just really upset me, and I just need like 10 minutes to recover
I
and feel
100%
good.
understand. Yeah.
Because at the moment I'm scared. No. Hey, thanks for hanging out, guys, and thank you once again to everyone who gifted or subbed or dropped some bits in the chat at the start of this session. We will be back in 10 minutes to figure out who these two figures are that are, little edgelords like Valenda. Until then,
Besties.
sure. Until then. Oh no! I actually
Probably for the
was
best.
like, oh no, the sound went out and my tongue was like down. Holy shit!
Yeah.
Hey,
Amazing.
welcome back. I
Hey, hi.
accidentally knocked us back in the middle of a chat. Yeah, cool. I'm glad the microphones are muted.
This is fine. Yeah.
It's
All right.
fine. Everything
Deep
is
breath.
fine.
We got this.
Yep.
Great. Hey, while I'm recollecting my thoughts, who would like to recap the session thus far?
We entered the town of Mullahir, or the area of Mullahir, and we made our way over to the capital, which I believe starts with an E, and I've forgotten what that is because it's no longer Elandria.
Eladria?
Eladria, and we're currently looking for drugs.
Yeah.
It's the synopsis, really.
No,
It's not what you're looking for.
No, we are currently looking for a place to stay.
For drugs.
Correct.
No, so what's actually happened is you've
Scarlet,
crossed
hey,
the...
I'll throw it. Scarlet
Yeah.
gave Valenda a hat because the sunlight is
Oh, yeah, we did get the hat.
disrupting his ability to see things. And yes, sorry, as you were.
You're
I
not
thought that was the
quite
most
in
important thing.
Aladria yet, by the way.
Okay.
You are still on the road. And
How many days travel does it take from the border to...
you actually haven't
Capital?
asked anyone that would know the answer to this question yet.
Yeah, right.
So that is something you can ask at some point. But the last thing that we left off with just before we have come back in is as you were traveling, you sped up, you wanted to kind of make haste towards Aladria. And in the process, Valenda and Marcus, you have both caught sight of two figures that are walking. They have a cart with them, and Valenda, they are the closest thing to your aesthetic thus far. As you look at these two figures, they both appear human. They do both wear dark leathers. They are talking to each other quietly, particularly traveling at this pace. You can't hear anything that they say. But yeah, they do catch your eye.
Yeah.
What would you like to
Valenda
do?
will say, I think, to those in the cart, I'll be back in one moment. Scarlet, thank you again for the headwear. I
You
might just
tuck and
leave it there
roll
for
it.
now. And yeah, Valenda's gonna scoot out of the cart immediately, go immediately to stealth mode and try and sneak up on these two to get an
Okay.
idea of what their deal is.
The cart is moving now at pace. So as you're exiting, I'll get you to make a dex, just a straight dexterity check, not a saving throw.
Okay.
Can I give him guidance?
Do you have
Wait,
the
I'm on the
spell
horse in
guidance?
front. I do have guidance, yeah.
Can you touch him?
Lightning bolt.
Is it a touch spell? I think it is. You touch a creature.
It
a
is.
willing
It
creature.
is a touch spell. I
Yeah.
touch the cart, and the cart is touching
I
him.
feel like there'd be time. Valenda's not just going to bail immediately. He'll explain that he's about to jump out and check something.
Sure.
So there'll be
You,
time.
riding this valiant steed, managed to like turn around, lean back like Matrix style soul, and tap Valenda as he
Wait, we have
jumps.
valiant steeds? I thought we said poor steeds.
Yeah, I thought it was a rubbish horse.
Yeah, in this moment
regardless,
though, they're like the Nicolas Cage of horses.
Regardless, I rolled a 12 for
Is the
a
other horse a
16.
Pedro Pascal?
Shut up. You rolled a 12.
Yes, bring it to 16 for my
Yeah, look,
dex roll.
You like, oh, okay, 16. Okay, great. Like you narrowly
If the
escape.
DM will permit, you get an extra 1 from my guidance.
Nice.
17. You do avoid taking any form of damage. It is a bit of a shock to you to go from moving to like standing still very quickly. But you do you catch yourself. Are you sneaking on up?
Oh, absolutely. Like,
Yeah,
shock
great.
or otherwise, yeah, he's immediately
you-
just going to go into full stealth mode.
Can you roll stealth for me, please?
I can. 19. I rolled very poorly.
Hold on, let me just check my modifiers because I probably should use them. Okay, great. Cool. As you're how are you approaching these figures? Because keep in mind we are in bright terrain.
Yeah. So
So
you
are
said they had
you
some
like,
kind of cart, right? And that they were
yes,
looking down. Yeah, cool.
they're
So
talking to each other, yeah.
yeah, great. Valinda's going to kind of roll out of this cart, then immediately find either. So we're on some kind of street, I imagine. Are we talking buildings, or is this like market stall type situation?
Not even market stall. You're still kind of in open roady area, so it's more trees and foliage than anything.
Yeah. Okay. As best as he's able, he's going to try and essentially just stay out of their line of sight. Like Valenda's an assassin; he knows how to
Knows how to move.
move through areas in such a way that he's not immediately apparent, despite kind of his outfit. So his main kind of thing here is going to be to stay out of their line of sight, and just kind of there's other people milling around, just try and kind of take on their affectations and blend in with the crowd a bit as he moves towards them to listen in on what they might be talking about.
Yeah, cool. You do kind of keep a wide berth to begin with,
Mm.
and you find yourself not necessarily, you don't look like you're like tiptoeing around sneaking or anything. You've done this enough to know how to approach situations like this. And as you get closer, approaching, uh, more kind of keeping the cart as a shield to you. You do hear mutterings very briefly of the discussion about a god of sorts. You don't catch what god or what the nature of this conversation is, but you do hear this quiet chatter about it. Just as you kind of do, you notice one of the figures does actually catch your eye, and it is the figure of a male. Now, being a little bit closer, you see that they have longer hair, almost shoulder length, and just like a braid that is braided from one side of the part to the other, at the front. And he looks at you and he says, "Can I help you with something?"
I want to get okay. So Valenda's deal while he's in this area is he wants to try and find a link to how he can get in proximity to folk who might be slinging this drug or any kind of nefarious item, like black market type item. Can I roll an insight check maybe on these guys to see if that might apply to these two and whether or not to initiate that conversation?
Yeah, go for it.
I rolled an 18, so
An
that's
18.
21.
It's tough to get a read on something like that just by looking at someone. But in the moment that you kind of get, sprung or caught, um, it gives you some time to process the people that you're looking at. And again, it's hard to tell just by looking at someone, but you've also got experience in um, trying to keep on the down low, but also being in able to do that in the open without necessarily looking like a fucking criminal, essentially. And as you kind of look at this cart, you notice that even through the windows, you can't see any of the wares inside. It looks like there are curtains drawn specifically to keep people from being nosy like yourself. Um, so while you don't get a definitive, oh yeah, all right, these people are shady as fuck, you do feel like they are not willing to just willy nilly have a discussion with anyone in the streets about what they do.
Yep, that's fair. I think then, in which case, Valenda will respond with greetings. My name is Farius Vermeer, a merchant of renown in distant lands. whilst doing this, though, he's going to be dropping thieves can't kind of undertones through this conversation, and the question that he's going to ask as he introduces himself to the public listener as a well-respected merchant looking for goods and asking for their advice on where he might procure them is quite specifically, I'm looking for something I can make a considerable profit of that I might have to keep away from the eyes of the law.
Can you make a straight charisma roll for me, please?
Sure.
Because you're basically asking, I'm looking for something dodge that I can make money off. Is basically what you're saying.
Yeah, 100%. And brilliantly managed to roll 12 for a charisma check.
Um, you notice that there is a charming smile that you get from this individual, this male. And you notice now that the person they are traveling with, a young woman, also looks around at you and looks amused listening to this conversation. She too has she's got like dirty blonde hair, and two braids hanging, one from each side. And she looks between you both and looks as though she is kind of sizing you up in this moment, um, as to kind of what to make of you. The gentleman looks at you and he says, Farius, you say.
The one and only.
My name is Brandon. This is my partner, Jesse. And while I understand what you're saying, are you usually so brash as to just throw thieves' cant out at anyone you meet in the streets?
I'm as brash as I need to be.
I will award your bravery, but some might mistake it for stupidity. Uh, and you watch now as Jessie, she kind of laughs as Brandon speaks. And she looks at you and she says, is there something particularly that you're looking for?
A little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Specifically.
Anything that could turn a profit, really. I have heard mention of a new up and coming experience that I'm sure my contacts in other lands would be quite keen to experience for themselves.
You and most people traveling in this direction currently, she says. Um, the Thornberry is widely known now at this point in time. I don't have any, and we don't carry it, if that's what
Oh,
you're
please.
asking.
I would never lower myself to acquiring any for myself. I'm merely
We
in
all
search
hydrate
of,
also.
indeed, I'm merely in search of contacts that might be able to facilitate the movement of such goods.
Brandon looks at you in this moment and says, where are you trying to move something to?
Supply and demand, you know. It will move wherever the demand happens to be.
And are you based in Maluhia, or where do you call home?
This is, in fact, my very first time in these wonderful lands.
Are you lying? Are you lying about this being wonderful?
Yeah,
That's
like he's probably visibly uncomfortable at the heat in the leathers and the sunshine in his poor, sweet little drow face.
uh, Brandon looks at you and says, admittedly, it's not the most comfortable place, but it is the best to acquire goods from. Um, I mean, here and Ascendus, if that's what you're looking for.
Ascendus is indeed on my list of travel plans. But for now,
Well,
I find myself here.
the good news is you're heading in the correct direction for the Thornberry. It's right by the border of Aladria, so you will find it.
Is there a particular name that might be associated with acquisition?
As in the brewery specifically?
Oh, it's a single location.
Well, yes, that's why they're turning such a profit. It's quite disgusting, really. All of that profit in one place. You'd be looking for Sacred Wood wines. But if you want my advice, skip the place entirely. The goods you are looking for, and he says this now in Thieves Can't, is if you are looking for a particularly profitable type of ware, find yourself over to Ascendus. You will make riches out of things that you would not imagine.
Excellent. Valinda will offer a thanks to that with his goodbye. Oh, I see my transportation is getting away from me. I shall bid you adieu, and I certainly hope that we meet each other again soon.
Jessie looks at you and she says, "Before you leave, a token of sorts." And she goes into into the cart, and she pulls out this small coin. It looks like currency, but when you look closer, instead of your typical currency symbols, you see the outline of a small raven. And she hands that to you, and she says, "If you are ever in search of wares, you can find us in Ascendus." And she says this again in Thieves. I'm now very self-conscious. Thank you, chat. She says it in the Thieves language. And she
These
says,
can't.
"We run a small emporium of sorts. It's called the Ravensridge Emporium." And I would really quickly like to shout out our friends Ravensridge Emporium, because I have been talking to them for so long, and I was like, I want you guys to be involved in this story. And so they get their entire storyline if you ever choose to explore it. So thank you so
Oh,
much to Ravensridge
I'm
Emporium.
going to steal everything that these people own or create. It's going to be great.
They have written everything about these characters, and they have given me the licensing to do whatever I want with it. And I'm just really excited. So thank you so much to Jesse and thank you just for letting us use your names in general. Anyway, moving on. They give you that coin, and then they turn on their feet and they make their way back towards the direction that you've actually come from, back towards the border.
Yeah, excellent. Valinda then will shimmy on back up towards the cart, catch up, jump back in.
You do so quite easily if the cart ever stopped. Marcus, can you confirm or deny whether you stopped the cart?
Well, given Valinda's kind of and Soul's kind of weird matrix touching thing, it kind of slowed down to kind of like, let's see if they get to fight and ready to send Scarlet off heroically to save Valinda. But yeah, we were kind of watching that kind of like slow motion thing. See if we get into fight. No.
No.
And
So, I have a lead on the Thornberry, if nothing else. I think we continue as we were, finding a place of lodgings. And
marvelous.
then we will need to find ourselves a place called Sacred Wood Wines.
Sounds intriguing.
Hey,
Let's go.
Scarlett, can you roll a history check for me, please?
Oh, because she's really good at skills that require intelligence. Having said that, so history, you say?
History
Yes.
with guidance.
Well, I have a -2, so it's a 15.
That's okay. You have heard briefly of Sacred Wood Wines. You haven't actually visited there yourself, but you are aware that it has been around for forever. Um, it is the staple winery of Maluhia. Um, and you struggle in Aladria specifically to find somewhere that doesn't stock their wines. It does come at a bit of a pretty penny because it is good as fuck. You are aware that it is run by a couple that have been married for some time now, but you don't know too much more than that.
Sorry, DM question. Have we made the connection between Sacred Wood Wines and potentially the Thornberry?
Valenda has
It,
specifically.
Yeah, yeah. Valenda was told.
right. Okay. Cool. I'll be waiting. I'll be on my horse, thinking about my paints and my tarpaulins
Well,
and these stupid children I ran into before.
we can always do a winery tour or something tomorrow. And I mean, they could even stock it where we're going to stay. Who knows?
Apparently, these folk have something of a monopoly on the market.
Well, their wines are pretty much stocked in every tavern. It would just be about getting the particular one. If you're wanting to try it, that is.
I am absolutely not wanting to try it. That sounds insane.
I'm wanting to try it.
I see. I'm far more interested in learning a little about who's producing it, under what circumstances. It seems to me your contact would prefer this sort of information as opposed to what it felt like to have the thing.
You can do both.
You can.
Yeah, totally.
Is there anything
And I
else?
mean,
Sorry.
their winery is open to the public for tours. I mean, maybe not the part that makes that stuff, but if you're wanting to know about who runs the winery and owns it and like research things, then, you know, we'll do a tour or something tomorrow.
A little bit of tour, a little bit of a snoop. Sounds delightful.
Jordan looks like you all in this moment and says, "Did you learn anything else, or?"
Nothing of particular interest.
Cool.
So when we go and do the tour tomorrow, are we using you as our representative, or are we wanting to try and use my family name as the representative? Or Marcus, because like you talk a lot.
Me? What?
Just not Sol.
I have an excellent plan.
I
But
have
we
no
just
plan.
need to get somewhere first before we do that. We need to attire properly, Scarlet. And I think,
Do you want to get dressed up for this, Marcus?
well, yes, any chance to dress up, absolutely.
What kind of
especially in
attire
this
should
heat.
we wear to a wine tasting?
Well,
I guess it depends whether you're going in under the guise of I'm here to taste the wine and buy some as a tourist, or whether you're going in under the whole I want to know more about it so I can potentially distribute your wines in my homeland and make money.
Is there a difference? Should I just not turn up as a commoner that enjoys the wine?
That's the tourist end of things. The wine's not cheap. You can't just turn up as a commoner and pretend you're an investor. It's not gonna work.
If there's an investor, then how about we just dress up normally? And the
You
investor is
still
the one
want
who's
to.
trying to sell to us.
Well, no. If we're wanting to invest in their stuff to like sell it where we come from, we have to look like we have the money to actually buy some of the goods.
Forgive me, Scarlett, and Marcus as well. I know you come from a pedigree that is higher than mine, but I don't enjoy these nuances. Perhaps you should lead the way for me. If we're going to go
This.
clothes shopping.
What if we divide and conquer? I go in as
Split the
the
party.
humble merchant Farius.
Split the party.
Marcus, you take on board whatever undoubtedly brilliant plan you have. Scarlet, you swing about your family name to see whatever information you can have divulged. And Sol, you can slum it.
I prefer that. I don't like being the center of attention, but I might be able to, I don't know, maybe understand a little bit of the winery if I can get into the back of the house.
I feel also like we could probably get away with far more while the attention of whoever's in charge of this place is split into 4.
After understanding what we have to do, it'd be nice to see what they're using to produce this wine. Are we alone? Sorry, damn question. Is this just
You are
us
traveling
talking?
currently.
We're traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The new
Also,
soul
Jonan
are
and
with me.
Astrid are there.
Yeah.
Those two are fine. No.
The new soul are with me. My approach will be an offer of expansion of their operations. Your expertise in this field could be quite useful to patch over my own shortcomings in knowledge of these things.
I mean, I'm not a brewer of wines, but I do understand herbs and things. Perhaps I could. Yes. I think that might be a good idea. Perhaps I come with you then.
So Scarlett will kind of half lean out the back of the cart and just sort of pop her head up to the twins and just be like, okay, which do you think would work better? Me going in as Scarlett and like Jonan as the bodyguard, or me going in the bodyguard and like being the bodyguard for Marcus? Which do you think would work better? You've been here more than me.
You're addressing Jonan and Astrid. Astrid looks at you and she says, I think that you should use your own name. Don't go by Cherry, though. Go by Scarlet.
Family name, yep. Okay.
Why not?
That
Then
means
you're
I have to
splitting
put on the clothes.
Well, yes. Oh no, what a shame.
Yeah, they're nice, but there's associations and things. So, you know, I don't like feeling confined either, but it happens. Okay, so let's go back to the tavern and see if they have any of the wine with the thornberry in it. Cool. And then I can say, I've tried it. Maybe that's how I actually get us in the door, saying, hey, I tried it. I really liked it. I want to buy some.
That might work.
Addict.
Jesus.
She doesn't go crazy. Sure.
She looks at you all and she says, we're not too much farther anyway. And you can kind of, if you squint out into the horizon, you can start to, in the distance, in the direction of travel, see water. It feels nice. It feels good. If there's nothing else that you guys want to do in the meantime, you will have about 4-ish hours of travel. So anything that you want to do in that period of time, you can. Otherwise, I'll get you to make one final perception check.
With the fedora back on. It's a 21.
19.
Great.
I got a 23.
Marcus?
One's too busy staring at one's inner self and the beauty that is gazing from it. 9.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, you do. And for a moment, like that, with that experience that Valenda had with Jesse, Jesse and Brandon earlier, you feel jealous that anyone was looking at you, like not looking at you in general. Like there was a moment where Valenda just wasn't looking at you, and was paying far too much attention to these mysterious strangers on the road, and it feels upsetting. But as you look at your reflection, you realize how lucky you are to love yourself first and foremost. Uh, you're muted, Ben.
Can I give him guidance to make himself love himself more?
Slapping down the guidance everywhere.
Yeah, you can easily enough. And for a moment, your
Wait, you're above
heart
me. Bam.
has an extra, it skips a beat as you look at your reflection, Marcus.
Oh. Well, roll a 1d4.
You get an automatic 4. It feels good. Everyone else, you've seen Steve and his children. You've seen Jesse and Brandon. Now, the last thing, you feel like you're getting closer and closer to Aladria, and then you catch sight of a sandstone-like building, and it has that same symbol that you passed through the gates. It looks like it could be a temple, but aside from that, that's kind of all you see for the rest of this journey.
The Raven's Nook, you said, was the place, yes?
Well, I mean, it would have changed its name again by now, but that's what it was this time last year.
Exciting. It might have a new name.
I wonder what it will be. I mean, I don't know. Like I said, it just changes how it looks once a year in the same way that people go and get their hair changed or do like a wardrobe update, all that sort of stuff.
It sounds the exact kind of shady that I actually enjoy. What kind of a place is this exactly?
Well, I don't know if you have been able to tell, but things are a little bit more relaxed here with what's acceptable and what's not acceptable. So, yeah, there's like shady people and stuff like that, but it's not like bar brawl slums or anything. Like there's still a certain level of decorum.
Excellent.
But, it's just shady enough that I could find out where all the fights were.
I'd be keen to see one of these fights while we're here, I think.
What, as in like me take you to a fight or see me fight? Which of the two?
Either.
There's also heaps of other things here as well. But, I guess it depends on how long we stay here. Like there's heaps of night activities. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to say too much out loud while we're kind of still traveling in public because not all of it is widely known. but there's some extra stuff here that you wouldn't necessarily find in other places of the world.
Speaking of not wildly known, the two persons I spoke with earlier mentioned some opportunities in Ascendus. I wonder if when this is all said and done and we've completed our task and we've been paid, if perhaps we might make our way there and see if we can turn some kind of profit. You have skills, Scarlet, that I find very useful. It would benefit me, certainly, to have you with me if I was to venture there.
Well, I mean, I've been there. There is a lot of Ascendus tries to make itself look very prim and proper. There is a lot of things that's unspoken of that occur there, but also the consequences if you're caught out doing those things are a shit ton more severe than here.
It's easy. Just don't get caught. And DM, it was Ascendus that Tybella said Valenda's parents were moving on, yeah?
Yes.
In the last session? Yeah, okay, cool.
Someone took notes.
We also have bakery items named after that by the name of arse buns, but anyway.
Yeah. Yes. Ye olde arse buns. You're also aware of the fact. You're also aware. You're also aware of the fact that Jiran is the capital of Ascendus. It is also the place where it feels like magic is currently falling out of basically the earth. There, it is shriveling up.
And that's like a known thing? Yeah?
It has been spoken about. Yes.
Yeah, okay.
But they're not really that kindly looking
Concerned.
towards magic anyway. So it doesn't bother them.
Mm-hmm.
And as a fascinating note, and I will go through this at some length at some time, it has one of the grimmest landmarks of these wonderful lands, which is one of the biggest cemeteries that runs for many, many distance from there.
Mm-hmm.
The dead are all over.
Is that conversation? I know that that was Marcus speaking just then, but the conversation between the other two, was that out loud or was that DM?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Valenda's not going to be like shared with the group type volume.
Yeah, okay.
That cemetery is fine. I've stayed near there.
Scarlet, I see it as a constant reminder of the cycle of life and death.
Well, it would seem to be mostly a reminder of death, I would imagine.
Well, it's
But
the
death is
cycle
a
of
natural consequence.
life and how it comes to an end.
It doesn't have to, though. I'd really rather that mine not.
Well, you imagine you're an owlbear in a cave, and then Squeaky he comes and shanks you with a stick. I mean, life, stick, end.
You hear
Poetic
from the
almost.
car. You just hear.
Actually, it's Grommy.
I will look back at the three of them quite grimly.
You see. You. Yeah, you
It's
see.
a real
Sol
grim look
looking
you've got there,
real,
Sol.
real grim.
We are all going to die. What's the point of being scared about it?
I didn't say I was scared about it.
As long as you go out on your own terms. Or you actually live life. I mean, most of the people who are scared about the idea that they're going to die is because they're fucking closed up in their house and they're not living life and experiencing it.
Experiences, yes. Great observation right there. It must be easy sometimes
What?
when you have access to magic.
I don't have access to magic.
You don't?
No.
No one's helped you along your way with magical healing?
I haven't really needed, or like when you've. I
Think
don't
about it
really.
for a moment. How have I healed you?
Well, you have like ointments and stuff. That's not the same thing.
Yes, because I'm from Dry Iran.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, those places full of death. It's not so easy for us down there.
Yeah, but I'm just talking like I access to magic. What?
Wait, are you
There's
a
a-
necromancer? Is that what you're telling us? Sorry, I'm just making the connection here. You use necromancy to bring the living back to the dead or dead back to living? Can you animate corpses? This is marvelous stuff.
My gosh, I
Wonder,
wish I could.
he's a
At this
necromancer.
point, Astrid looks at you all and she says, "You're not all really friends, are you?"
If Paffle.
We've known each other for like a whole week.
Yes, it shows. And uh, after some time, after those 4 hours pass, you find the sun is kind of getting to that afternoon, almost sunset point in time, and the trees become a little not scarcer, but they are a little bit more bunched together as the cobblestone street widens, and you start to see buildings, homes, um, all lit by either flickering firelight or torches. As GMD would say, we don't use the big light here, so a lot of it is ambiently lit, um, and it's beautiful. Like as you pass these different houses, you can smell, fresh meats being cooked. You can smell, some people are obviously having fucking dessert because it smells awesome, and you get into the center of the town of Eladria, and at this time of the day, particularly coming from Kaivala, what was like dead as the sun goes down, it does not look like this city is shutting down anytime soon. It looks like these people party on through the night. The streets are still busy. There are traders still trading. The storefronts are still open. Nothing is closing anytime soon. Um, you can also see hovering, it almost looks like in the air above the main square of the town, little paper lanterns lit with firelight. But the firelight doesn't flicker like actual fire. It looks almost like magical in nature. And you have made it to Eladria. What would you like to do?
Great shout. I'm gonna throw this over to D20. Have we seen a moment where you want to spruce up this card?
Sure. I mean, that seems an excellent idea. So, stop off for just a brief moment. Say to the twins, you two make wonderful ornaments, but can you just hop off for a moment while I just give the cart a bit of a zhuzh?
They do so, but they laugh and look also kind of uncomfortable. 'Cause
Good.
they're like, what?
And then using the fine art of zhuzhing, I am going to make the card look more fabulous than it did previously.
A little bit of zhuzhery.
Can you
Zhuzhery.
describe to me what you're doing to Zhuge, and
Certainly.
also roll a performance check?
Absolutely. The zhuzhing starts with the following. The tarpaulin had lost its luster, so we're going to give it a bit of color, and we're going to give it a deep scarlet wherever it is, and those scarlets will fade into darker colors, and then we'll add some layering to it. So I'm looking for the kind of throne rug type person, give it a chop in the center, because I too have watched bad television about house makeovers. And then on top of that too, it's if there's any stainy inks, I will make some of the really kind of mundanely boring woodwork have a more vibrant or intense color to it. So we stand out like not a sore thumb, but a thumb that has been made magnificent.
Great.
Are we inspired by this?
No.
Do we
Wait
get
till I
an
roll the
extra
dice,
D20?
Ben. Wait till I roll the dice. That's what's going to happen next. I
Yeah,
give
let's-
myself. I let the
My
spirit of
home.
zhuzhing infuse me and guide myself to do this one. Uh, Performance. I'm a bard. This should be easy. I get a natural one.
Yeah. Incredible.
You
DM, could I offer an opinion?
sure.
The colours that we got from Steve weren't actually colours.
They weren't
What?
colours.
Aren't really inks. They're not really there. They're more like turpentine type stuff. So as Marcus
No, the
starts
good
spraying this stuff off.
Oh, God.
the good news is they are actually inks.
Oh, good.
The bad news is, first and foremost, you were trying to cut the fabric. Yeah, great.
Sure.
You do so, but in the process, you actually nick the shoulder of Astrid, who has jumped off the cart, and she just fucking clocks you in the face, like literal reflex. She just smacks you straight in the face, and you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage. And she looks at you and she goes, "You fucking stabbed me."
Technically, I nicked you and you assaulted me. I mean, artistry comes in different fashions. And you've
Okay,
got
well,
like armor on.
if you could
How's a pair of scissors going to go through? And look at this. Look at this.
If you can paint the card with the inks and not my blood, I'd be quite thankful about that.
With blunt scissors.
You get through the fabric. It's not cut very well. It's kind of like when you try and you're cutting wrapping paper and you try to do the glide with the scissors and it just goes nope, and it just off to the side. That's basically what happens.
Heavy chic.
Yeah, these inks, you uncork one, and the one that you've uncorked is like the murky yellow brown color that looks like maybe it's, I don't know, it's been sitting there too long. It was like a sun yellow, and now it's like a vomit brown yellow color. And you start painting the cart, and you think it looks good, and that it's definitely yellow, and that the reason it looks brown is because the sun is now going down. That's what you think. Who knows? It also doesn't smell great. It smells a little bit yucky, bit stale. The rest of you, it looks like Marcus has just gone slip slop slap. Guess that's fine. And there's this weird yucky vom brown color all over the cart now.
So, shall we find this tavern and then set the cart on fire then?
Performance art. Love the idea.
Let's just find the tavern and hide the cart for now. Maybe
If
we
you will-
can find something else to put on it tomorrow.
If you look close enough, the way as well that Marcus has painted this cart is it's not like it's gone left to right, up or down. It's like he's drawn like a love heart and then written Marcus inside of it and then tried to paint over it. But you can
I don't think
still
this is a
kind of
lost
see it.
cause. It just needs a little bit of extra time. That's all.
The colour looks like someone shat on it.
We can change
Technically
that.
vomited.
We got blue. We got red. I also believe I got a green.
You got no red, you've got hot pink.
Hot pink. We got hot pink. We can paint over the top of that.
You've also got
It'll
emerald
just-
green.
An emerald green. We can make this very candy striped. It'd be beautiful.
This is worth a fortune now. I can tell you that as someone that deals in antiquities and art. Anyway, onwards to this unknown place. And if Astrid cannot chin me again. That'd be delightful. People obviously.
Yes, would you like something for that? Is it
No,
a
no,
dessert?
no, no. If she get handsy again, I'm just going to sit on the other side of the carriage.
Yeah, so is Astrid around or?
Astrid hears you say about getting handsy, and she goes, "You wish," and she just keeps walking.
Actually, no.
And she she starts leading you if you follow towards the Raven's Knock.
I'll slap Marcus on the back. There. It'll be fine.
Circle of life. And Marcus is just going to be watching and see if his necromantic hands, if he starts eyes kind of bulging or a skull starts appearing on Sol now, because he's been talking about death an awful lot.
Do you think she's interested in you?
Look, again, the important thing is it's not about me, it's about her feelings to others around her. And I think she needs to come to terms with some of those anger issues she's got inside.
She truly does, doesn't she?
Well, that, and she's got a pretty good backhand, so I'm not going to mess with her in any way, shape. Anyway, I'm looking forward to what happens next and what we can burn down.
Start with your performance art if you like.
Well, there are critics and there are critics, Valanda. Let's find out how it goes.
As you approach, you go through these winding cobblestone streets, and every now and again, someone will offer you something. You see corn on a stick, and it looks like some of it has
Buying
been
it.
like.
Going on a cob, I'm there.
Okay, well, some of the corn kernels on the cob have like been popped like popcorn. It costs you like a silver piece. Like,
A silver piece for corn on the cob.
yeah, you're in Olivia. Welcome to an economic crisis. Thank you.
Is it cheese and herb on it?
You don't know. You didn't let me finish, so you just get whatever.
All right. I'm removing a silver.
You feel like you might have gotten. No, I'm joking. There is a couple of young gnomish children running around, and they've got like what look like little light sticks. And as they kind of wave them all in the air, it's like leaves this almost light trail behind it. And eventually, you come across a tavern. It is all wood, which does kind of look a little bit strange next to the contrast of every other building here. It looks like it's bright stone or painted like cream, blue, red, bright colors. This one just looks like wood. It actually matches your car quite well. But it does have a sign.
Hey, we're incognito now. Spy.
It is tucked off the main street as well. You do have to go down a darker alleyway. It's not lit down there, but it also is not hidden enough that it looks suspicious. As you get there, there is a sign hanging above the door that says the Blue Canary. And Astrid looks at you all and says, "Well, I think we can answer the question about it changing its name."
I kind of like the name. I mean, canaries aren't blue, but I still like the name.
I mean,
I can make
I guess
them blue.
They are if you choke them for long enough. Shall we enter?
Fucking hell. Yeah.
Don't yuck his yum.
I had to practice on something as a child. You don't just start with killing people,
You enter the Blue Canary, and and it is, it is relatively busy, but not as busy as the streets outside. You see, there is a table of humans playing what looks to be some type of cards. They are betting gold pieces into the center. And you see there are a group of young women that all seem to be laughing at something that one of them said. There is someone playing the lute
Hey,
over
Volandis,
in
I think they're laughing at you.
Unlikely.
There is there is a bard playing the lute nearby a quite large open fireplace. And you see behind the bar a human. They have a sleek ginger ponytail pulled off their face as they are cleaning out some glasses. You, Scarlett, would recognize this person as the bar manager. This is Wex, who has been working here for some time now. Long enough that you recognize them.
Yep.
His name is Wex, Marcus, if you want to.
Marvelous. So just our plan is to be wine investors rather than random tourists, right? And we want to use your name to, promote interest in that trade. Are we going with that one team?
At the winery, but do we have to do that here?
Yeah,
I don't
because
know this is necessary here.
we're creating a presence. So people know you're coming.
I might have to agree there with Marcus.
Oh, okay, that's quite worrying. But it seemed a sound idea to start with. But a
Is this the
presence, Scarlett.
establishment that takes on the wine predominantly?
We
No.
create a presence for you so
No,
people know you're in the town.
This is where I find out about fights and stuff. Every tavern here stocks wine from that winery, but it's not the main place.
Glorious return, Scarlett. Glorious return. Philander, you're a man of many faces. What do you think?
Look, it's not a terrible idea. More useful if we get stuck here for a considerable amount of time. You don't want to be running into person A saying that you're person B when they know you to be person C. I don't think it's probably not necessary, but I'm happy to entertain it.
It's pretty simple. I have my actual persona and a performance persona. It's like a stage name. It's very simple.
Also, the downside here is that evidently the people here may well know Scarlet already, so any subterfuge may fall a little flat in that area.
Is there a possibility then that, and forgive me if you may not have noticed, Scarlet, that the best wines were served in the places where you would perform?
Well, I don't know. I was kind of performing, not drinking.
Exactly. Do you think that they would be brandishing the most colourful and expensive things in the place where
It really depended.
They're not going to be.
Sometimes the fights, it was just like betting, like a boxing match. Other types, you would actually get people like nobles and stuff come in because it was like taboo and exciting and all that kind of stuff. They would have like fancy wine and stuff there. They're more sort of performance bouts than just competition books.
Did they ever fight themselves?
No, they just watched us fight.
I guess my point is, are we surrounded by a lot of people? Again, I want to keep this conversation a little bit more closer.
There are a few people in this tavern, but they look like they're too busy enjoying themselves to care about what you're talking about.
Perhaps where there's a bit more nefarious activity, they would be serving more nefarious delights, I guess.
We'll go straight to the brewery. There's a sure shot at finding what we're after at the brewery.
Yeah.
But would they,
I'm not sure if they would serve it at fights, because if it creates hallucinations, then why would they want their audience doing that? They want their audience making bets.
And paying attention, right?
I've seen a gambling den or two in my time, perhaps not as much.
Yeah, they get you drunk. They don't make you think you're seeing God. It's two different things.
Well, they'll let you loosen the hand and the coin.
Again, they get you drunk. That's what does that. Seeing God ain't going to do that.
You'd be surprised what people do for their beliefs.
This is not a place maybe for me. I'm just making assumptions. Perhaps I'll let you
Well,
both make the
like
lead.
I said, I was in the ring fighting. I don't necessarily know as much about what was being served to people who were there.
Well, we shall we have to visit a fight, and I'm sure we'll find out. In the meantime, standing around here having a conversation amongst ourselves is probably more suspicious than literally anything else we could be doing. Should we
Good
perhaps
shout. My round?
At this point,
always?
That was a villain. Yeah.
you actually see
Organised
Jonan. Jonan is already at the bar with Astrid, and they already are comfortably standing there with glasses of wine in their hands, um, chatting amongst themselves. You can see that Wex is also standing there, involved in their conversation. Do you all approach?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they would. I mean, if they have an old approach. Okay.
Yeah, cool. As you do, Wex looks at you, Scarlet, and says, I didn't expect to see you here anytime soon. At least not until the new season.
Well, I've got to occupy myself between seasons.
Does that mean I'm going to be seeing you popping up at some of these fights?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Hell yeah, let me know when you're fighting. I'll come play some gold down.
Can do. What other things are happening at the moment
Well,
that
I
we
mean,
could be interested in? Like, half the people here with us haven't been here before, so what sorts of things would you recommend them engaging in as tourists?
like tourist activities. I mean, I don't know. You could go down to the bay. If you haven't seen water, it's pretty cool. You know, dip your toes in. If you have, then sorry. Yeah, that's one of the things. I don't know. Moloch here is pretty cool. You guys have never been here before.
Belinda's going to stay pretty tight-lipped through this conversation and just kind of let Scarlet take the lead.
And there might be some different experiences people want to try.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely offer some experiences if that's what you're after. Astrid at this point looks at you and says, yes, he has the wine, if that is what you are
2 bottles
asking.
then, please. That'd be great. Thank you.
Wex looks at you and says, bottles? Absolutely not. I'm not selling them by the bottle. You got to go to the winery for that, but I'll sell you by the glass.
Yes, 2 glasses, both for Sol, please.
Yeah, great. Awesome. That's gonna run you some gold.
Well, again, gold, gold, and gold. How much gold are we talking about before I give away Sol's money?
How much gold would you pay?
A gold piece for a glass. I mean, that's expensive wine right there.
Might be expensive, but it's pretty in demand, inflation and all.
Well,
I would certainly like to try some. So I
in
would
that
like a
case,
glass.
3 glasses, please.
Why don't I just give you all a glass? And I mean, you guys can do whatever you want with it, but it's gonna run you gold each.
Oh, that's not a problem.
Unless
Have you sampled the wine yourself?
Unless, go on, go on, go on. I'm very excited what happens next.
unless now I know Scarlett's strong, so she's out of the running for this one. Unless one of you three can beat me in an arm wrestle.
I've just had my nails done recently, and I've been punched out by Astrid. So I love to do that, but I don't think I'm capable of physical exertion at this point of time
If
of
you
that
win,
nature.
I will give you 1, 2, 3, 4 glasses for Just 1 gold total, not 1 each.
Soul, I've always believed in you.
Did you? Are you asking
I
me?
always believed in you, Soul. Soul will take on this. Soul will take on this challenge. Soul, look at him, fine figure of a man.
There's a deep anger that lives
Yeah, a dark anger, one would say. Valando.
inside this man.
About life itself, as far as I can work out. But
Has someone got a strength larger than 10
No,
out of the three of us?
no, none of the
Right.
three of us
Okay.
do at all.
God,
Right.
Cool. So you're going to partake in this arm wrestle?
Look, I rolled off of
Hold on,
Just-
wait. Are
just
you or are
engage.
you not doing the arm wrestle?
I am convinced that I am
Okay.
doing the arm wrestle.
Right. So Wex spits into his hand, rubs them together, and then holds your hand.
I'm gonna turn around and look at Marcus,
I believe in you. I believe in
and
you, Soul.
as he says that out loud, I'm going to cast enhance ability on myself.
No,
Cheater.
You
so
also
Marcus
Cheater.
step
also
back
have
a second and
guidance.
say, "Ladies and gentlemen of the room, the entertainment of the evening is about to begin."
As he's distracting, I'm going to use sleight of hand to cast bull strength, and that will give me advantage on strength checks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
great.
at
Cool.
the same time, DM,
I'm hoping that
Marcus
works.
is going to do two things. Apart from making that noise, he's going to try and give Valenda a little bit of cover, so he distracts away from Valenda. So I want the audience to look in a different direction to give Valenda a little bit
And
of
they do
space if he needs
easily
to do anything
enough.
spicy.
For sure. They do easily enough. Ben, keep in mind you also have guidance courtesy of Marcus.
Oh, okay, it's from him. All right, beautiful. Because I can't use it on myself.
Brilliant.
Hoo-hoo. And 1d4 for guidance.
Mhm.
4. So strength is 10, so I get nothing out of that. But I did get an 18 and a 4 for 22.
Okay. You grab the quite moist hand of this human who has spat into their hand before grabbing yours.
If he does that, but oh no,
Well, too late. You did
that's
it
not
and
how you
you
arm wrestle.
ignored it. He did it and you ignored it, so it already happened. And for you're holding on to his hand, and he starts to push your hand down, and you get, you get almost to the point where you're like, I'm not winning this arm wrestle, and then you catch,
Oh,
you
oh no,
catch,
my arm.
you catch Marcus's face looking at you with true belief. And you find this extra extra moment of
I'm
strength and
inspired.
vitality, and you manage to slam Wex's hand down to the bar, and yeah, everyone cheers. Everyone was
As I
truly
look,
invested in this.
I'll turn to Marcus.
And then you hear the lute player in the background go, "What a show! What a show!" And now, ladies and gentlemen, Wonderwall, and he just starts playing.
As I've beaten
And
him, I'll stand up and like rub the stuff off. Looks like you're a loser.
Yeah, no, oh God.
well, that's not very nice, mate. I was trying to be quite nice, but you know what? A bet's a bet. Yeah, I'm gonna be okay. And he pours out 4 glasses of this wine for you. It is a deep, deep purple color. You have all seen like a red or a Shiraz before, but this has a purple tint to it that is quite different. And he holds out his hand for the 1 gold piece he's still promised from whoever would like to pay it.
Scarlet will put it across on the bar.
Yeah, cool.
Wait, we're paying for this after the arm wrestle?
Yeah, he said 1 gold instead of 1 gold each.
All right.
And He says, are you wanting lodgings as well, or are you just here to... I would recommend lodgings if you're going to drink this.
Oh, definitely lodgings.
Yeah,
Should we
great.
arm
How
wrestle
many,
over it?
no, how many rooms you want?
Marcus pointedly looks at
I don't have enough for one
the
each.
other two.
I can bunker down if someone wants to share. If not, I on my own. That's fine.
I'll bunk with
Uh,
Marcus.
Astrid and Jonan say, sorry, I'm just looking at Buggy in the
And a
background.
cat.
Yeah, maybe get her down from there, eh?
Oh, right. All right.
Yeah. If you could, that'd be good. That's the vinyl player. Yeah, sick.
It was.
It was the vinyl player. Astrid and Jonan look at you all and say, "We can sleep anywhere."
Anyway.
Great. With Scarlet it is.
I guess
So-
I get my own room. Phenomenal.
Jonan says, "On second thoughts, I might bunker with you, Sol." And so that is, yep, okay, great. So the Wex then looks at you and goes, "Yeah, all right. So that's going to be 2 silver pieces per room, 3 rooms, so 6 silver."
Happy to pay. Such a delightful host.
Don't worry, I've got this. I pay for the 6 silver.
Beautiful. And he hands over 3 different keys to you. They are all by number next to each other. You can tell pretty immediately. Wex looks at you all and goes, "Now, if you don't mind, I got some shit to do. I got to clean this place up. You know, every time this guy plays Wonderwall, everyone just goes absolutely fucking psycho. And someone knocks a stool over and someone knocks a drink. It's going to be messy." And you see, like, this small little mosh pit has started where this Luke player is just, like, living their
For
best life.
Wonderwall.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, like, people have got arms around each other and they're singing along. It's a really good time. What are you all doing?
Sorry,
Scarlet,
go. Go.
Scarlet's going to take her glass upstairs to the room. And
Astrid will come with you.
she is going to basically set herself up on the bed.
Mhm.
Almost, she has been, well, they tried to teach her how to sort of calm herself and center herself a bit when she was going through the circus. So she will try that and basically set herself up to have an experience and see whether or not this wine may give her some insight on what is going on with her currently.
Yeah, cool. Okay. So Astrid comes up with you and she similarly finds like a spot in the room, gets nice and comfy. Are you all going to your own rooms to do this, or are you all sharing a room for this moment in time?
We all have a glass of this
Yes.
wine standing in front of us, right?
Well, it's not standing, it doesn't have legs, so yeah.
Sorry, yeah, it's sitting. Oh,
The wine doesn't sit either.
on the table? I don't know.
Yeah.
Levitates.
Yeah. I'll sit with it. I'll watch what everyone else is doing, but I think at some point I'll probably pour it into a alchemist's bottle so I can check
cool.
out what might be going on with it.
Valenda's
not
going to do
planning-
the same thing with
Yeah.
something from his poisonous kit. He'll take like a vial of this because I think that's the ask that we were given, right? Is to take some back.
If you
With
could,
us?
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
If I see Valenda waiting as well, I'll be like, well, what do we... Should I get around to drinks before we consume this, or...
Oh no, 1, 2, 3, Scarlet. Go.
Or she's up in her room.
Scarlett's in her
Sorry, there we
room.
go. Well, Marcus
Yeah.
is
There you
at
go.
the bar then.
So
Persuasion check.
the question will be: so are we following Scarlet upstairs,
Yeah.
or are we staying downstairs and making our own stupid decisions?
Granted, if Scarlett is going to let you join her, that's also another
Correct.
Correct.
Yeah.
Was it an open Scarlet? Was it an open invitation, or was it a I'm off to be me?
thing. Love to be me.
I'm a bard. Move on.
She's indifferent either way. Sometimes it is good to have a person around who is not consuming in case things go wrong. She doesn't know how she's going to react to this. She could, try and do many stupid things while under the influence of this. But she's hoping that it lets, not that she uses the terms, it lets her unconscious speak to her about what's going on.
Gents, what's the feel? And I'll men left standing around the bar at the moment, including the brother. It's like, are we going to let the ladies do their thing, or are we going to do our thing? Mainly me.
I mean,
Boys' night.
Yeah. Perhaps.
Okay. The safe word is boulangerie.
A boulangerie.
Boulangerie.
Boulangerie. All right. Are you? Do you want to drink this now? Though?
Yep. Go. Experience. Yep. Hop. 1, 2, 3.
Straight down the hatch. Jonan joins you. He goes straight down the hatch as well.
Jonas Brothers with
Valinda-
me tonight, isn't he?
Your
Hey,
sister
Jonas brother?
does have a good backhand.
Yeah.
Yes, she is quite good at the combat side of things. Yes.
I'm gonna put my hand over the top of.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'll let Marcus go.
No. So Marcus wants to give you 2 space to do whatever dodgy things you're going to do, because clearly you're up to Valendran type soul things of the pieces.
Valendran and soul.
Valendran soul. It's that cop duo we've always dreamed of. Yeah.
One's
So
got
I
the
just
fedora.
want to kind of give them space to do whatever they're going to do. Sleight of hand type thing is the being. So there's that kind of big moment at the bar. And if
Yeah,
Wonderwall's
cool.
still playing, I'm going to get to it. Gets to, well, maybe it's going to be the thing to
cool.
save me. And these lyrics don't make any sense, but I'm with it.
Yeah.
What's a Wonderwall,
can
really?
both happily pour as much as you want into. If you're taking the time to do so, you don't have to make skill checks or anything like that. You manage to do so. You lose a little bit here and there. Like no one pours into a bottle perfectly. But
Can I make a dexterity check to
How
see if I
perfectly
can?
do I pour?
Yeah.
Right, this
If
is a
you want
competition
to.
now.
Roll off.
I would like to.
Just a dex check.
Sure.
Oh, I don't.
17.
13.
Okay, well that you
Valinda
both
will
still
chuckle.
do it good, but Valenda does it with precision and much quicker than you do, which in this instance is desirable. But are either of you consuming any as well?
Oh no.
No, I'm almost interested in. Is there any dregs in the glass?
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
Not anymore.
I don't think I can do that. No, I'll keep my batch I kept in my alchemist jar or whatever it is. Put it away.
Oh, Sol, you seem to have no longer have any of yours here. Have mine. I don't have very high hopes for my future. I have absolutely no wish to see it.
I feel like you're probably more tolerable to this than I may be, but
I am very interested in observing what happens when you down this drink.
I I think the specimen then that we should be watching is our friend Marcus. He's just taken the whole glass,
So
and I'll
has
look over at him
Jonan.
and see how he's. Yeah, and I'll look at Jonan as well. Jonan, are you going to be okay? Have you had this
Marvelous.
before?
I have taken
How are
many
you
things
feeling?
in my time. I feel fine. Thank you for asking. Um,
Perhaps to your point, Valendis, a boys' night wouldn't be a terrible idea to see how they behave.
Responsible boys, irresponsible boys. I
We can
think
look
we could
after them.
accommodate that.
What happens though? I must admit we should be back in a hurry to look after before Scarlet would awake at least.
See how this plays out. Sorry, go.
I'm more certain Scarlet's going to be better off than I ever will be. Far more certain.
Can I roll a intermediate medicine check on Marcus to see how he goes per hour?
what do you mean an intermediate medicine check? What does
Start
that
taking my
mean?
bloods, stuff like
A
that.
progressive medicine check, maybe. That's probably the better word.
You can certainly watch him. At the moment, he looks fine. You don't need to make any checks to do that.
He's not got like
Nope,
eyes or.
nope. I will absolutely describe that to you if that happens.
I guess alternatively, now that we have this beverage, do you think the barkeeps will serve this over the counter?
I think I need to. I'd prefer to keep a straight head for now.
I would agree. Anything could happen from here and then. Imagine if we got jumped in the middle of the night after enjoying such a drink.
Has anyone told you you're a bit of a downer? No, I mean, look, it's look at this bar, and again, still don't really understand the lyrics of this Wonderwall, but it's very catchy.
Well,
You're
I
the one
do.
to
I
say to
do.
me, after all, you're my Wonderwall. I mean, the metaphysics of the song itself, it just transcends weird, but I'm digging it. And I have to have a kind of a strange, more northern type accent to really fully embody the song.
Am I sure Markness isn't getting? I yeah, I think perhaps it'd be better if we look after you tonight, so you
Okay,
can enjoy
well,
yourself, Marcus. You give a lot to this team, so you deserve the night off.
okay, well, that's okay. Well, I'm gonna have a bard off then. So you two enjoy yourselves, and Belinda,
You're
can you
going to
keep an eye?
play?
Yeah, and Marcus has got this viola suddenly in his hands. Oh yes,
Fuck off.
oh yes.
Okay, great. You all watch as this viola just appears. And before we go to that, we're going to go up to Scarlett's room. Scarlett, you and Astrid are sitting there. You've both downed your wines. Are you downing the entire thing or are you sipping at it?
Nope, she's downing the entire thing.
Astrid will salute with you, like bottoms up, and she will follow suit. Can I get you to make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Oh! No one can give me guidance because no one's there. 10.
Cool. It feels like for some time nothing is actually happening. And you and Astrid, polite catch up conversation about what you've both been up to. Um, Nothing too deep, and then it's almost like if you've ever woken up with like a nasty hangover and you're staring at your ceiling fan and it just kind of goes like it slows down and it just goes like you just know That's kind of like what it feels like. Hydrate, please, everyone. And check your posture. Um, and for a moment, your eyes like they glaze over and blur, but then they refocus, and everything almost has like a haze to it. Um, and you start to feel really, really sleepy. Um, and your eyes close, but you don't feel like you're asleep. You still feel like you can feel everything moving around you. And you hear random sounds like birds every now and again. You feel a warmth surrounding you that kind of starts inside your chest and just expels out. Um, and as you're focusing on just experiencing this, um, you see a pair of eyes, and they are closed currently, but they are almost like, it's almost like you are nose to nose with the person that is standing in front of you. Um, and as they open their eyes, they are blue as anything. Um, Almost like to the point of being an icy blue. And they stare back at you and they blink for a moment. And there is like a comfort and a warmth to these eyes. And it's almost like you kind of zoom out and you see this really young woman. She has incredibly pale skin, um, and she has red lips like your own. Um, Her hair is like white blonde and curly, and it falls all the way to her hips. Um, and you don't know why, but you feel like you know this person incredibly well. And for some reason, you hear the name Marisol in your head, just echoing. And you can't figure out why. And you watch as this person, you zoom straight back in on their eyes, and their eyes close, and then they disappear. And then you see the faces of your mother and your father. You see your sister as well. Um, and you feel like you are looking at a family portrait that you are not a part of. And it's almost like everything kind of goes from vibrant colors. It shifts from that person from before into like a black and white and like grayscale. You don't hear what Astrid is doing or going through in this moment.
Did the female I saw in vibrant colour look anything like my mother?
No.
Okay.
But you know that like, you know that your mother has family.
Yeah.
And you have heard the name before.
Yes. Which was why I was wondering what she looked similar to, but that's all right. Okay. Okay. I have some direction now. Scarlett actually has some direction.
Downstairs in the bar, Valenda and Sol, you are keeping an eye on Marcus and on Jonan. Uh, Marcus, can you roll a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
I'm going to pull out a little bit of parchment and start scribing.
Yeah, cool.
Just
Sure.
little details here and there.
So
Sweet.
the question is, do I have to? Can Marcus just go with it, or do you want me to roll anyway?
I'll get you to roll anyway, just for you will experience something regardless. This is just an intensity thing.
Wisdom saving throw.
Yeah.
Ooh. I think it's Soul's presence that really magnify the ability to just fail. So that's a 6 plus
Yeah,
2.
cool. You what are you doing with this? What are you doing in this moment where you have like pulled this fucking instrument out of nowhere? Are you just gonna sit here and play? Are you planning on trying to achieve something whilst under this influence?
Yeah, so it's supposed to be like this vision like statement. So I kind of want to go through that composing moment where it's like, hey, Wonderwall's bouncing off the walls and people are smashing at the bars and probably lurching over each other. Um,
It's actually now
Counterpoint.
gone from Wonderwall into Mr. Brightside, and everyone's living their best life.
Well, okay. Well, then I will do. We'll play a counterpoint music that is catchy enough. It's almost like we're all playing in the same notes, and the band's all saying the same.
So you're
End
trying
up
to
in a James
complement
Blunt
the
esque
yeah, cool.
song off.
Yeah, great. What great. Awesome. It's like you're playing a train song and they're playing Mr. Brightside. It's great. Um no, it's all good. So you are standing there with this instrument playing along. Um and you similarly feel this warmth inside your chest and you feel like you're actually quite lightheaded in this moment. And you do actually vomit on the ground next to you. It is a deep purple color. It doesn't feel good. Uh, Wex comes over really quickly and just cleans it up. It's like no big deal. It's another night at the bloody Blue Canary. Um, but you do kind of have to hold on to something to stay standing. Um,
Well, the very large shiny paladin. Thank you very much. Next to me, which is equally going through.
Yeah, yeah. So Jonan finds like himself clutching onto the table. And he too vomits. You both do. It's like it happens at the same time. Um Wex cleans it up. It's a good time. Um and
How bad is this getting? Out of interest.
not bad. It just looks like someone drank too much and they've had a cheeky vom. Um
I'll have a couple of scribes down. Is Valinda, how you looking? You just on watching as well, or
Yeah, he's just chilling, watching it unfold.
uh, uh, if if Marcus gets to a state where it's terrible, I want to do something.
cool. It's weird. They both almost simultaneously. It happens to Marcus first and then Jonan straight after because there was kind of that moment where Marcus went down the hatch and Jonan followed. So it's almost like a split second between them. And it looks like they have just gone almost unresponsive. Um, to you, Marcus, it feels like you've closed your eyes and you're just meditating. To those watching, like both of these people's eyes have gone a milky white color. You can still see their pupils, but it's like there is a film over their eyes. Um, Catatonic almost. No movement whatsoever. Um,
With
Marcus,
Marcus and Jonan,
Jonan,
or
yeah,
just Jonan.
both of them.
That's not good. All right.
Um, you can make a medicine check if you want, to see if they are in danger.
Are
Um,
they still like going around the hotel?
they have
Sorry, the bar,
stopped. They've
or they've
stopped.
stopped?
Yeah.
Are they in a position where it's like someone that like a drunk friend, you can be like, come with me, and you can ferry them?
You can certainly try, but you wouldn't know unless you tried.
Yeah, I'll try. I don't know what you want me to roll for that.
You approach,
I'll go.
and it is like
I'd probably go to Marcus first because I know him and be like, "Hey, how you doing, Marcus? You all right?
completely unresponsive. Um,
Uh, Perhaps you should come with me, and I'll grab him by just like the forearm and just lead him into a area that's not as busy."
his skin is like touching literal fire. You actually find
Oh, it's
yourself
hot.
like, yeah, you actually find yourself like pull your hand away. Um, he is in place. It feels like to you, A, skin burning hot. B, it feels like you would be trying to pull a brick of cement to make Marcus move in this point in time.
Um, if he's malleable, I'll kind of prop him down onto his knees. And how would I do this? What am I looking for?
Sorry, I'm just gonna
I
ban
will,
some fucking bots in the chat.
Yeah.
Um,
Nice.
yeah, no, you go for it. Lesser restoration. That's what I'm looking for. I will cast lesser restoration. I don't know if that'll work.
I think
you
Uh,
Valenda's gonna hold him, like jump in as this is being cast. Whoa! Let it go. We're establishing the effects of the thing, are we not?
as before I cast it, who's interrupted me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Jesus fucking Christ.
As Marcus knocks over some stuff. um, as much as I would hate this, but we have another one to anticipate.
And like what happens to him happens. It's not really our concern. I, I, I don't want to say Marcus holds a special place of any kind in my heart, but I'm sure if whatever they're experiencing was out of the ordinary, some of the people around here might indicate that what they're experiencing would be a problem. Maybe this is part of the whole affair. Of course, the only way to really know for sure is if you give it a try yourself. And Valinda will again hold out and offer the glass that remains that he's been holding on to.
I
It
kind
can
of
go in his vial.
I'm not going to knock it aside because it's not rude, but I'll just be like, Valinda, if you really want to understand this, perhaps you should take it yourself, and I can look after
Absolutely
you.
not.
Perhaps then you should trust me to know that I would look after you if this happened to you.
Oh no, Sol, it is absolutely not a matter of trust. Again, if this has some kind of prophetic effect, I have absolutely no desire to see what pitiful end my life comes to. None whatsoever. I want no inkling of that. I would love for it to be a surprise.
Well, I guess for trust's sake, I should look after both of you. And right now, I have Marcus to look after.
Indeed. Let it ride for a little while. I'm sure it will be fine.
And I'll listen to Valinda for a little bit, but not long.
Cool.
I'm ready to
To yuck his yum.
yeah. I'll put forth my herbs because I don't have magic, and I'll wait just a couple of moments longer. See if this is a deadly thing.
Um, the good news is you like he looks like he's alive. He doesn't look like he's having any form of an internal struggle or anything like that. He looks as healthy as you've seen him, aside from his eyes. Um, and Marcus, for you, in this moment, as like your eyes kind of, you feel like they're closed, that despite them not being. Um, and you find yourself wandering through this dark forest. The terrain is actually that similar to Maluhia. And there's a weird sense of familiarity there. And as you're kind of walking through the darkness, you hear a laugh that you have heard before, but not for quite some time. And it is the laugh of your friend, Briley. And you kind of catch sight of her hair as she's running, dodging in and out of these trees. And as you're kind of not running after her, you're just walking at pace. And as she kind of feels like she's getting further and further away from you, you're trying to keep up. And as you're walking through, this terrain goes from trees to a stone corridor, and it almost feels like it's getting smaller as you walk through it. As you're kind of looking, running your hands along the walls and looking at the walls beside you, you see a number of weird, strange, scratched symbols in all of this stone. Not so dissimilar to ones that you've seen before carved into stone. And you keep moving forward until you finally like get to this opening, and you find yourself looking around at this open field, and you hear this laugh of Briley one more time, and it comes from right behind you. And as you turn around, you see her standing there. She looks at you and she says, "You're getting closer." And she turns on her foot and she just bolts. And all you can kind of see as she runs away is this emerald green cloak. And I think that's where we're maybe going to leave it for this evening, if that's okay.
Nice. Okay.
Cliffhangers.
Yeah.
Meta
Look,
knowledge. Oh God, I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate this.
Hey, thanks so much for this evening, everyone.
No, you.
No, you.
You.
Stop it. Hey, and thank you to the chat. Thank you to everyone who jumped in and subscribed or dropped the bits and stuff. Thank you to Ravens Ridge Emporium. And just to friends in general. Hey, we're gonna steal Promethean's bit and we're gonna go around the table and pick a favorite moment. And we're gonna do it in reverse order to how we started. So I believe that means Ben will go first.
So, honestly, just then, I'm sitting on a cliffhanger. I wanted to heal Marcus, but I lost a roll, which I did it in game against Valendis, which I don't know. I'm totally interested in what happens in the next episode. This is going to be great.
Love that. Tammy.
I part of me just really likes the interplay between the characters in that, we have only been traveling together for a brief period of time. We've been forced into this situation and we're all trying to build some form of common. Sorry, the cat is now meowing at the door. Just the idea that we technically all want the same thing, but we barely know each other and we're having to sort of figure that out.
Yeah. No, love that. D.
I think that's pretty straightforward to me. It's the way that Scala is maintaining a level of poise where Valanda will nip off at every single opportunity to do something shady. And then you've got Sol, who's in a group of semi-comedians, is trying to play the straight thing, but literally has come off as necromancer and the thing, talking about the dead and has this. It's like, And to Tammy's point, I think is this great piece of like a group of strangers who haven't quite worked each other out and are still trying to work out what it is, and kind of it's an unusual set of events. We've got two other very attractive individuals that are taking along too, and it's kind of like, how does this all work out? And I have to say, it's just fun where this is going.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
For the
it's just a
record,
group.
Valinda has worked all of you out. Thank you.
Sure.
It's just a group of hot people
Obviously.
traveling together. Speaking of Promethean, your turn.
I have two. I think you dropping in a hook to an entire arc named for Raven's Ridge Emporium is just
Yes.
outstanding. That's incredible. Well done. And also D20's use of blangerie as a safe word for our drug taking experience that only he ended up partaking in. I thought was great.
Hey, this was a ton of fun. Let's go. I'm gonna get you guys to go around once more, and this time you're gonna plug yourselves and what you're up to and who you are and what you be. And then we will finish up for the eve. My computer is already struggling, so I'm not gonna do a raid tonight. But hey, let's go back the exact way that we just finished. Promethean, who are you? What are you doing? Where you be?
Hi. It's me. I'm Promethean. I'll go through these real quick. The Lorites, check it out. You'll see Emily playing there, as well as me running my little campaign. Castleton, in that. That's going to be fun as heck. Meeples and Dragons, tomorrow night, playing in that. That's also going to be fun. Also this weekend on Sunday, I'll be at Fortress Melbourne. You can find me and donate to charity, or head there this Saturday and see a bunch of people doing cool stuff.
Yeah, sick. Love that. That was, yeah. Beat that, D. Your turn.
I don't. If Promethean can thrash up the last screen with Matt Brown's one, given the incredible event that that's going to be, well worth appearing, watching, and supporting these rather incredible people doing these things. It is again a super great thing to be actually doing, and you just stop that now, but that's incredible. Split the party and Matt Brown doing these wonderful things. Emily, back to you. Thank you so much.
Over to Scarlett, aka Tammy.
Also, a reminder, if you're not in Melbourne, you can watch those charity events on Split the Party on their Twitch channel, and you can actually donate to a worthy cause to cause havoc for other people that are down in Melbourne, so you can affect them from afar.
Don't though.
Yeah.
Do it.
Yeah, do it.
Absolutely do it. I'll be hanging out in chat, living my best life.
Do it to the others, not to me. Like, just leave it
No.
here.
If you
Have a
ever
nice,
met us,
calm,
how do we
level
turn
20 game. And
how do we turn
Yeah.
every charity event into how to ruin Promethean's life? For the benefit of others, of course. Hey Ben, who are you? What do you do? Where can we find you?
Yeah, my name is Ben. I'm Blast Powder on the chat here on Twitch. I am a part of Fate's Grip, which is also a part of Emily. We stream every Tuesday, 6:45, and hey, and yeah, no, catch us. Check us out. We're okay, people. You see us stream. I'm dragging this on. I'm gonna let Emily take over.
Hi, I'm Emily. I'm taking over. Hey, thanks once again to all of these wonderful players. Please give them all the love in the world. My name is Emily. Tonight I was the DM, but usually I'm the player every Tuesday at 6:45. I'm over on the Lorites, playing some games there, ruining Promethean's day in return. And, you know, thirst mastering for Thirsty Thursdays, just casually hanging out wherever I can put my claws into. Aside from that, we will see you on Tuesday. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. Until next time, everybody wave now. Wave, wave, keep going, keep waving.